Seb on Podcast Show. It's a Seb on Podcast Show. Everybody's welcome. Peace and love. It's a Seb on Podcast Show. Bam, we're live.
Bam, we're live. Good morning. Meet my wife, Haley Parlin. Haley Matosian. I don't even know my wife's name. Meet my wife, Haley Matosian. This is what she sends me yesterday. Hi, Susie. Hi, Susie. What's up, girl? Hey, how are you? What's up? You good? This is what my wife sends me yesterday. This is my life. This is going to give you guys a great insight into my life. This is totally this is my wife. My wife. This is my wife. This is my life. Ready? Here we go. It's a screenshot of a saying. Ready? The people I admire the most are the ones who unabashedly tend to their inner peace. They do not want to hurt anyone. They move with kindness. They make time for self-care and growth. They do their best to give compassion to all those who cross their path. These people make the world lighter. That's what I get. That's my that's my rock. That's my foundation. That's my, you know what I mean? That's who I that's like the is preeminent. Is that, did I use that right? That is the that is the foundation of my wife's message. That's like the general theme for 20 some odd years coming from my wife, a direction for me. That does not sound like you. I have a lot of work to do. But I can't tell you how happy I am when I get that stuff. It's so start the show. I did start the show. What do you mean start the show? This is the show. What are you talking about? Kenneth Lapp said start the show. Audio. I just checked the audio. Audio is working. I got a DM. There's a lot of new people who chimed into the show after Lazar's death. They were just searching around for news, and tons of new people like being brought to the show. And it's so interesting, their perspective. And then there's a lot of old people on the show and hearing their perspective. And I was like kind of tripping because in the comments, in the DMs, the stuff they say makes me realize that there's stuff that I know that's going on here that they have no idea that's going on here. They've just made some they just made some assumptions. So first and foremost, and I say this with peace and love, and with compassion and with kindness, and with inner peace. I do not need a single CrossFit Games athlete to ever come on here again. I do not need that. There's no. I talk to them because I want to talk to them, because I'm curious, because I like them, because I'm excited, because I admire them, because I'm inspired by their works, their discipline. I get excited to talk to Alex Gazan. I get excited to talk to Danielle Brandon, to navigate the landscape that is those people. I take it as a huge honor and pride and I take responsibility of the privilege or the opportunity to have my brain interact with them. But please, if you want to understand the show, under no circumstances do I need them. Not like I need you guys. Not like I need Ken Walters. I need Jeff Bako. I need Vindicate. I need the real Kevin. I've never seen you before, Amy. Hi. Sorry if you've been here. I never consider I need them. And when they don't wanna come on the show, um, I don't even believe it. Like, that someone made me a list, they're like, "Hey, man, you've lost your way. Look at all the people who won't come on the show." Boy, if that would imagine if I was just tripping on that person. Imagine if that was my litmus test of who would and wouldn't come on the show. Do you honestly think that anyone who doesn't come on the show doesn't really wanna come on it? I mean, just be honest with yourself for a second. I know it sounds self-serving and arrogant to say that, but just think about it. Do you think that they really don't wanna come on the show? A place to be just completely free, hang out, you can say whatever you want? Or do you think that their life is better because I said something to offend one of their sponsors, and so they're obligated to stick to it? I mean, and now I'm okay if I said something that upsets you or you disagree with me and you wanna say, um, "Hey, you're an asshole," uh, for whatever reason. You're an asshole by even bringing up in these sensitive times the notion that all of us have extreme personal accountability and responsibility, and to interject that into a time when Lazar died, is, tone deaf or however fancy way you wanna say it. I get it. I can hear you on that. But just tell me what I said that upset you. Don't leverage any of that other shit. I remember I remember looking Dave sent me when I can't remember if I was doing the CrossFit podcast or what podcast, but I was doing some podcast and the ratings for the show were 4.5 star. And Dave said, "Damn, you have a 4.5 star and Julie Fouché has a 5 star." And then I started looking at all the other CrossFit podcasts and they all had 5 star. And I was the only one that had a 4.5 star. And I remember thinking how fucking cool that was, because that meant I was saying something. I was like, "Yeah, because I'm saying something." They do not want to hurt anyone. They move with kindness. They make time for self-care and growth. They do their best to give compassion to all those who cross their paths. I'm not mad at any of the people who don't wanna come on the show, and they're always welcome on the show. But, by no means, if they don't come on the show 4.5 star Sevi, that's good, I like that. Just call me That's good. I get up every morning at 6 a.m. I walk over, I turn on the coffee machine, I open the blinds. The entire time I'm watching my breath. I listen to the doves and owls outside, and I feel this giddiness coming on that I get to come on here and hang out with you guys. Never once am I like, "Oh, darn, so and so can't come over." And then there's this other group of people that thinks that, for some reason, um, there's my life financially is not intertwined with this show in a way that, like, I let, other than the fact that I sell a dick pump, uh, that's it's all almost everything is just a bit. So, um, you're just the new people, I don't think, have figured the show out yet. Maybe, and what's crazy is even the old people, some of the old people who are DMing me, it's like, "Dude, have you not figured out how this show fucking works or who I am yet?" I've given so fucking so many insights into how I operate, and yet you're still like you're like so far off the map. Paul Peters, Sev on your face reminds me to get a colonoscopy. It I appreciate I appreciate the attempt. It's sloppy. It's sloppy. There's definitely a better way to say it. But I don't look at buttholes, so I don't know. Maybe my face does look like a butthole. I don't know. Oh, is it Paul? Is it because when you see my face, it reminds you of your boyfriend licking your asshole, or when you lick your boyfriend's asshole? Maybe I don't get the joke. Slater. Hey, good to meet you, dude. Wow, Slater's a stout fucking dude. Holy shit, I met him at the games. What a beast. I had no idea. It's like hugging a block of ice. Who gives a fuck about those people? They'll always talk shit no matter what stance you take or just how you are as a person. They're just not happy in life. Well, it's fun. It's fun. I do enjoy hearing. Scott Schweitzer. I just checked 4.8. You can be proud. Yeah, who wants a 5-star for your podcast? That means you're doing something wrong. I want Matuthian to have a 5-star. Not my podcast. I want my podcast to be a I want my podcast to be a 4-star. I'm saying shit. I want to know why one of the only places in the country that autism is dropping is in Marin County, where all the fucking rich hippies are who don't give their kids vaccines. That's what I want to know about that. That's what I'm curious about. Oh, now all the people who took the vaccine aren't going to come on your show and they're going to be mad at you. And the person who's watching the show who took the vaccine is going to give you a 1-star. I know. I understand. Sevi likes girls' boobs and that makes him a misogynist. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I guess appreciating boobs does make me something, but not a misogynist. And if you got that wrong and you're going to give me a 1-star, then it's cool. It's cool. I want that. I'm not looking for a 5-star. By the way, if you haven't reviewed the show, please go over to iTunes now and give me a 5-star and tell me how funny I am. Who gives a fuck about those people? I mean, I want to move with kindness and give compassion to all those on my path. I want to be this person. Ooh, my arm's tingling. Am I having a heart attack? Oh no, it's both arms. Does anyone else I took 2 shits this morning. Does anyone else my hand will tingle sometimes when I have to take a shit? Does anyone get that? And sometimes like I just won't feel like myself. I'll be driving or something and I'll just tell my wife, "Hey, I don't feel like myself. Something's going on." And she'll be like, "You have to take a shit." And like, "No, but I don't." But then like 20 minutes later I take a shit and it's literally like I take a shit and I'm like back to me again. It's so weird. I've made up this story. I have no idea if this is true, that somehow where my shit sits and twists down towards my butthole, that it pushes on some nerves or something. You know what I mean? Elizabeth Dissinger. Is that a real name? Or is that Dissinger? Is that Dissinger? Or is that a joke name? Someone help me if that's. I like his tranny voice. Who mine? I do kind of have a tranny voice. Sometimes I listen to the show and I don't even recognize my own voice. This is my morning voice. The boys came over last night. Which boys are those, Sevon? My 3 nephews. My 3 nephews are Texas ranch raised boys. You know, like when I would pick them up from the airport when they were like 7 years old, they would get off the airplane with cowboy boots, a huge belt buckle, and a hat. And people in Berkeley would say to them, "Oh, is that your Halloween costume?" And I remember my nephews would be like, "What the fuck are these people talking about my Halloween costume?" And they grew up catching rattlesnakes on the ranch, helping my sister and my brother-in-law breed deer and other. They had some bunch of weird, rare African animals that people could come. They would breed them and sell them to hunting. They do. My sister would send me photos of the boys cleaning guns, you know, before they were 10 years old, strapped with guns, walking around the ranch, catching rattlesnakes, riding horses, roping cattle, all that shit, right? Just shit that's like out of a movie to me. And they're in California now. And they came over last night, the three of them, beautiful young men, right? I don't know, 16, 18, and 21, just full of life, perfect skin, huge smiles, big eyes, tall. My wife married a giant. My sister married a giant. She's 5 feet tall. She married this giant dude who's like 6'4". So the kids are just big old men already. Even the youngest one's probably a foot taller than me. I put my nose in his armpit when I hug him. Anyway, so they come over, take their shirts off, shooting hoops with my three boys, skating on the skate ramp, just being, just coming over. I remember my sister's oldest son told me one time, he's like, hey, he's lived here for a while, and he's such a gentleman. Always comes in, goes straight to my wife and says hi. If I have guests over, he always walks right up and introduces himself and shakes his hand, big smile on his face. He looks like a fucking model. And then he comes over and he just hangs out with my boys the whole time, doesn't even hang out with me. And I remember him telling me like 6 months ago or a year ago when he first moved out here, he said, yeah, I had a really good relationship with my older cousins and I always looked up to him. And so I wanted to give that experience to your kids. And I was like, fuck, that's so cool. Anyway, so they're over here and then some of their friends come over and hang out too, which I'm so flattered about, right? Like I'm so happy that my nephews feel comfortable enough to invite their friends that they've made in Santa Cruz to my house. So there's some other teenagers here. And I'm in the garage watching videos on Charlie Lawrence, who's coming on tonight. He's the guy, I don't know if you guys remember him. He came on the show and he broke the 50-mile world record. And he's going to go for the 100-kilometer world record here in a week or two. So he's coming on the show tonight. So I'm watching a bunch of videos on him to get brushed up and refreshed on what he's all about. And the boys start telling a story about how they went out the night before in downtown Santa Cruz. And the boys were walking down the street and they walked by this tranny talking to someone sitting on a bench, and they were walking down the street, this main thoroughfare, Pacific Avenue in Santa Cruz. And they heard the tranny say, can you believe that motherfucker? He told me Jesus loves me. And so he said, my nephews and a couple other guys were walking. So I think there were five men total. And they all turned around at the same time, like in synchronicity without it even planned, and goes, Jesus does love you. And they started giggling. So the tranny stands up and starts chasing them. And one of the boys who was at my house last night ran down an alleyway, and the tranny chased him down in there. And my oldest nephew ran, and they start fighting. The tranny starts just fucking unloading on this kid. Big kid. It's a big kid too. And tranny's not a big tranny. Buff tranny. The tranny was wearing a strapless dress, and the tranny was yoked. And my oldest nephew, who's a big man, and works out and shit, and just, beautiful looking kid. He runs over and like and is trying to break it up. And their other friend, who could have easily kicked the shit out of the tranny, was just covering up. And then someone else was filming it, so they had video of it. And the video shows the kid covered up like this, and the tranny's just yelling at him, and then with a fucking crazy, and you guys know I'm a fucking fight connoisseur, the tranny's just like this, and then just wham with a left punches this young fucking beautiful blonde boy in the chin. It was crazy. And that kid was here yesterday. They had the video of it. Some other kid filmed the whole thing. And I started tripping. Can you imagine wanting to punch someone because they said Jesus loves you? Just imagine that you're a human being. And someone could exhale air from somewhere down inside of them and bend it with their tongue and all the pieces that you use to transform that air into sound. And the sound that comes out of your mouth is, Jesus loves you. And then that sound hits you and you stand up and punch someone. And then I started thinking, well, we live in a world where people don't even know the difference between Halloween and biology, right? Halloween is I dress up as Raggedy. I'm a man and I dress up, let's say, as a woman. Let's say I dress up as Raggedy Ann, but I'm not really a woman. I just dressed up as that for Halloween. That's Halloween. But for some reason, some people think that if I dress up as Raggedy Ann, that I really am a woman. And that's what that's where we're at. You could say Jesus loves you and you get punched in the face, and you could dress up as a woman and convince half the world to call you like a woman. And they really will believe you're a woman. They got Halloween and biology like somehow. I don't know where Halloween is Halloween's like a made up, like just a made up thing, a made up holiday. You know, where you dress up and ask people for candy, and biology's where you make observations that you believe that are fact, and I guess you make conclusions from them. So I guess I don't know the exact definition of biology, but it's probably something like the study of the real world, natural world, or some shit, right? Like you're looking through a microscope and you're like, look, there's an XY chromosome. Got it. Oh my God, that XY chromosome is dressed up as a XX chromosome. Can't fool me. What if you said to someone, Harry Potter loves you? Would they punch you? Bizarro world. Okay, show's over. That's it. A quick one today. Just a quick one. Did you guys see this? This is interesting. I don't even want to talk about this. Today, the Democratic National Convention starts. I'm gonna watch it. Like when I was a little kid, my sister watched soap operas. So I would come home from school, and there would be this show on called Days of Our Lives. I don't know if anyone remembers that show. I don't know. Do they even have soap operas anymore? Soap operas? Is that what they're called? Soap operas? And it would take like I watched this show every day at 3:00 for 2 years, and like nothing happened. Like the plot moved so fucking slow. The plot moved so slow. I hated it. Planned Parenthood, I don't even know what that means, but it's an organization. I think when I was a kid, it was an organization where I always thought of it as they gave away free condoms, or you could get an abortion there. Like you could kill your baby there if you didn't want it. Planned Parenthood offering free abortions and vasectomies at the DNC. The mobile health clinic will roll into Chicago from August 19th to the 20th. Now, in all fairness, I think the abortions they're giving there are like chemical abortions. I think I think it's like whatever you do to take a pill that disengages the egg from the side of the uterine wall. Planned Parenthood is offering more than free T-shirts or stickers at the Democratic National Convention this coming week. The organization will offer free vasectomies. God, I would never get one of those. I know a lot of you guys get them. I just wouldn't. I'd never do that. Never change the viscosity of the load. Never. Never let anyone put a needle into your scrotum. It says the organization will offer free vasectomies, medication, abortion, and emergency contraception. I wonder what emergency contraception is. Emergency contraception. What the fuck is emergency Does anyone know what emergency contraception is? What's emergency contraception? And medication abortion. Doesn't that not even sound like a doesn't that sound like a some sort of like those two words don't go together? Shouldn't it be like medical abortion? Medication abortion? Well, shouldn't it be like chemical abortion? That for some reason that doesn't seem like proper grammar to me. Medication abortion. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers of St. Louis announced in a Twitter post that a bus is headed to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago to offer free services. Here we come, Chicago. Our mobile health clinic will be in the West Loop with Child Abortion Fund or Chi Abortion Fund and Wiener Circle. At the Wiener Circle, providing free vasectomies and medication abortion. Oh, that they say that. Okay, so that's not like just Fox's shit. EC will also be available for free without an appointment. EC, emergency contraception. What is that? The Planned Parenthood location noted that there is a waiting list for vasectomies during their time at the convention. So what do? You walk up to this giant motorhome and in the back you lay down and they fucking snip one of your tubes? We currently have a waiting list for free vasectomies. Spread the word. Democrats have made the issue of abortion a central theme in their campaign across the country this election year, including warning that a Republican control of Congress in tandem with another 4 years in the White House, the former President Trump, would mean a nationwide ban. How is anyone worried about abortion or gun laws or any of that stuff when freedom of speech is on the line? Do you guys have a hierarchy of like shit that matters to you? Like those of you who are just crazy pro-life, are you willing to be like, okay, kill as many babies as you want for freedom of speech? I am. I'm freedom of speech first and foremost. I don't understand how anyone, why are you concerned about abortion when it's all just when we're getting down to freedom of speech? This is an interesting point. Bobby Libby, the Second Amendment protects the First, meaning if you have guns, people are less likely to tell you that you can't say something. I see the connection. Olivia, Planned Parenthood also gives your underage girls thinking they're a boy testosterone without parent consent. Holy shit. Holy shit. I feel like I should fact check that, but I also feel like I don't need to. Like, yeah. When I was a kid, and I'm open to being wrong on this, so someone unfuck me in the comments if I'm wrong. But when I was a kid in California, or maybe I was in college. When I say kid, I'm not sure how old I was. I'm not sure if I'm talking about 10 or 25, but I'm 52, so give me some leeway here. If you peed in public and you were caught peeing in public, it could be considered you could get put on a sexual predators list because you had your dick out. So if you were a guy and you peed in public, there were stories of guys who were put on like Craig's list or Mandy's list or Emily's list, whatever that list is. There's a list we have. I don't know if you guys have it in every state, but we got this list here. I looked it up one time on the show and it can show you all. Oh, sex offender. Yeah. If you peed, you could be put on a sex offenders list. So like the other day I was at the skate park down by the boardwalk and they have an outhouse there. But it's so and let me tell you, I have a massive threshold for discussing bathrooms, like massive. Like I will walk into a shit-stained bathroom barefoot and take a piss. Like, I don't care. But this bathroom is so fucking bad. And it just especially in the summer, it bakes in the heat. So I just went behind some trees and peed in the trees where like all the homeless guys and trank users will hang when they're there. They're not really there that often. And I peed back there. And so I think like if a cop would have seen me, I could have been put on like some sexual offenders list for having my dick out. And dude, I have a crazy meatsicle, so I could totally understand if I totally understand if someone saw my penis as threatening. I think it's threatening. It's nuts. But I digress. But now I just read a story, but now you can go into. I just read a story in Canada where these 4 men simultaneously had their dicks out in an all girls dressing room. Did you guys see that story that broke yesterday? And it was totally fine because they were in a dressing room and they were in their Halloween costumes dressed as women. Oh, that's the truth still in Alabama. If you take your piece out and take a pee, you could get put on a sexual offenders list. I mean, I think that's a little aggressive. But I'm not arguing that point on whether that's aggressive or not. I just don't understand how those 2 things exist in the same world. Are those people is there a psychological phenomenon, for those people who think that if you say you're a woman, you're really a woman? Like, what are they not connecting that we're connecting? Are those the same people that think that if you took 2 weeks off the calendar, you would have 2 weeks you would die 2 weeks sooner, that you lose 2 weeks of your life? Is that the thing? Like, they can't tell the difference between what's going on in their head and what reality is at all? They have no fucking demarcation, no modicum of, distinction? What is that? How weird is that? Oh, we're taking July. That really happened, by the way, somewhere in Europe. I can't remember. I read it in a story of like some of the world's most bizarre events, and it was. I think it was in the UK. The Queen took like a week or 2, or the King took a week or 2 off the calendar, and the fucking constituents, the citizens, rioted because they thought their life was shortened. Did Jocko write a book about extreme accountability and personal responsibility? Wasn't that interesting? That's the I thought that was fascinating, that connection between that's how God operates, right? God has extreme ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And so if you're gonna mimic God, you have to have that too. And, the example that I always give is, someone throws a rock and hits your car, some kid throws a rock and hits your car, on the insurance level, it's that kid's fault. But on the real life level, like when you go to bed and you have to face yourself and you don't wanna give any of your power away and you wanna be whole emotionally and intellectually, you have to know that it's your fault. You bought the car, you just decided to drive down the road. You've chosen for some reason getting your car hit by a rock is bad. You have to make all of those you have to tell yourself all of those lies before you blame the kid. And those are lies. You have to tell yourself first that your car being hit with a rock is bad. Because there's nothing inherently wrong about that, right? There's no truth to that. That's like we've made that up. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to make up, but you made that up. How could you be connected to God? How could you is God truth? How could you be connected to God and the truth if you still think it's some other kid's fault that threw a rock at your car? You're already disconnected from the fucking truth. You're already not taking full personal responsibility and accountability. How are you connecting with truth when you're trapped in your head and you're circling around this thing that's mine, 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 mine. It's my car. It's mine. I wonder how many of you get what I'm saying right now. The person gave me a list of all the people who don't come on the show anymore, and it was fucking laughable. It was fucking laughable. And I wanted to write back. I wanted to write back so bad and explain each situation, but I didn't. I'm just like, I just wrote back to the person. I said, "Hey, dude, whatever I've said to upset you, what is it that I've really said that to upset you that you're so bummed about?" I admire people most who unabashedly tend to their inner peace. Who do you think they do not want to hurt anyone? Who do you think has more peace? The guy who his car gets hit by a rock and his insurance pays for it and he's thankful, or the guy whose car gets hit by a rock, his insurance pays for it and he's thankful, but he also realizes that that's just the way it is, and those are all his own needs and wants and desires to have a car that doesn't have a dent in it. Jedediah Snelson, I haven't been back on because someone hasn't invited me. Oh, by the way, Jedediah, thank you so much for the list of athletes who are competing in San Antonio. I think I've invited all the one. I haven't opened your most recent email with Blaze Foster. I just see it's got the blue dot by it still. But all the other ones I've invited on, and I think I got them all. I think it's 2 dudes and a chick so far. For some reason I get excited whenever I'm going to interview someone from the UK. It feels like a get, you know what I mean? Like I'm all excited. Like, ooh, I got someone from the UK. Like it's a get, like it's someone famous or something. Ooh, I got Patrick Bet David again. Yes. Is Laura on that list? Who wrote that? No, I mean, if she's competing in adaptive, I want to try to get as many adaptive athletes on as I can. Maybe some masters athletes. The people I admire the most are the ones who unabashedly tend to their inner peace. I think you get that inner peace when you take extreme responsibility and accountability. That's not true. I don't think that. I know that. They do not want to hurt anyone. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, right? Who wants to hurt someone? I guess you could have someone in your head you want to hurt, like if they did something bad to you or your family. But like I don't like the people who are have that bus that's that kills babies in front of the DNC. Like I don't want to hurt them. Is this far? Is this far? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I guess I know that normally field goals are what's a normal field goal? Like 40 yards? Ken, what's the average field goal in the NFL? Is this far right here? This one?
This is officially a 66-yard field goal.
Yeah, like that's past the middle of the field, right? Like you just don't see that? Is that what's going on here? Why did they go for this? Who can tell me the backstory on this? Oh, it's the furthest one ever? This is one of the furthest ever. It would have tied the record. It would have, or it did, Scott. Scott, I think this dude makes it if I remember this clip right.
He drills it, doesn't have enough. Oh, man.
Hey, the guy says it doesn't have enough, right? But then he does. Oh, he misses? No, I think he misses. Look at the guy, the prison guys, the guys in the striped suits have their hands up. Doesn't that mean touchdown?
66 for
Coach looks happy as fuck. Oh, he said he doesn't have it and he nailed it. Oh my God, is that true? It's preseason, so it doesn't count as an NFL record. Yeah, that's weird. Oh, does it have enough? Okay, let's listen again.
3. This is the end of the first half. Holy cow! This is officially a 66-yard field goal.
It's official, though. He said it's we already know this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
He drills it, doesn't have enough.
Oh, does it have enough? You're right. You're right. Does it have enough? Does it have enough? 66 yards is the longest ever, and 2 different people have done it in a game. These games don't count towards anything. I don't know. That sounds crazy to me. Oh, no shit. He made it from 66 yards. Ken Walter says he made it from 66 yards. It would have made it from 70. He was a former MISL soccer player, Major International Soccer League soccer player. I don't know what that stands for. Yeah, Lord Wang. Yeah, I totally agree. Preseason doesn't matter unless you're a kicker and make a 66-yard field goal. Yeah, write that one in. That's crazy, I guess. I don't ever remember seeing anyone standing past that halfway point. That's how I judge it. If you're inside the halfway point, you're good. What is it? How big is that end zone? That counts as the distance too? Like the end zone, and then there's and then the field goal is like another few yards outside the end zone. Do they count all that distance? Blade Walker, he literally saw an NFL kicker on TV and said, I can do that. And here we are a few years later. Damn. Oh, 10 yards. 10 yards, Kevin, but what about that? See that space? There's like a little space in between where something's written there. It says play something. It looks like some sort of ad. Does that count as yards too? Start interviewing kickers. They're awesome for the brand. Yeah, I would. That sounds cool. Getting kickers on the podcast as NFL players, doesn't that seem, that's like a bottom feeding? You know what I mean? There's I'm okay with it, but there's something like tantamount to waiting at the bar and picking up the last drunk chick. You know what I mean? It's like you're on the team, but you know, it's like, you know. I mean, you're important, but kickers are gay. I don't like to use that word gay, but I get it. Like affectionately gay. Like they could do the splits and shit. Right? Like that kind of gay. Cool gay. All right. Someone DM me the Instagram link to some kickers and I'll start inviting them on. Let's see if we can get one of those guys on the show. So I guess that's a far one, but that's cool. I'm glad I brought that up. See, you guys taught me some shit. So that doesn't count. That doesn't count. It's so ridiculous, right? Of course that counts. Why wouldn't it count? Because the guys who are defending the kick aren't like the first string guys. I'm trying to think why it wouldn't count, because 66 is 66. I'm trying to think what the argument would be that it doesn't count. Like, what's different about preseason? Just that you had the shitty dudes on the line trying to defend it? It would be like winning a world champion, a boxing match, but you didn't fight the champion because he was out with a broken wrist, so you fought the next best guy, and then you won it, and it's kind of like, it's got an asterisk by it. You didn't beat the champ. Does one in practice count? Yeah, I guess that would be, yeah, that's a great question, Butter. I guess that's the extreme of that, right? Because then there would be no pressure. I guess that's on the spectrum of what I'm trying to figure out. Less pressure on the kicker, yeah, and then Dick Butter brought up the fact of like the extreme of it, no pressure. Mason Mitchell, hitting a lift in the gym versus hitting it at the games. I don't know. I mean, there were definitely dudes trying to stop him from doing it. I mean, at least it appeared that way. I was having this discussion with a friend of mine named Andrew Hiller the other day. This one was fucking tripping me out. This was really tripping me out, this conversation. We were discussing OnlyFans and the people on OnlyFans. And Hiller was proposing that, like, you know, you're born and then at some point you're like, fuck, I'm fucking smoking hot, right? And man, I'm smoking hot, and everywhere I go, guys are looking at me, and it's just a scene. I can't stop looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm just so attractive, and I got perfect titties, and man, and I could make money with how fucking hot I am, right? Or we were comparing that to, like, is there anyone on OnlyFans? So I think my understanding from the conversation with Andrew, and maybe he'll clarify it, but my understanding is we were in agreement that that's how most of the accounts start. But I don't know any OnlyFans people, so I don't really know. Or is it like, man, I suck the meanest dick. I am so fucking good at sucking dick. It's just fucking ridiculous. And it's a gift. And I want to showcase that talent. Oh my God, look, there's a website where I can showcase my talent, and people will pay me for it. You know what I mean? I want, oh, Andrew's going to call. Look at, here he is. Andrew. Oh, hey, hold on a second. I have to reconnect. I think this is Andrew. Hold on, Andrew. He's like, dude, you fucked up the whole argument. You fucked up the whole story. Watch, he's very precise. He's much more precise than me.
He's like, dude,
hey,
you fucked up the whole argument.
Hey, Andrew.
Yo,
did I have our discussion correct?
I didn't hear the part about why you brought it up. Do you remember why we were talking about it?
I don't remember why we were talking about it, but I was fascinated by the conversation, whether it's like something they stumbled upon, or whether it's like or whether it's something that they just thought they were really good at, or something that they had been, you know what I mean? Like they were practicing, like, man, I've been practicing sucking dick for 10 years. I finally perfected the art, and I'm ready to showcase it and get paid for it.
When you were in school, did you know that guy that had to be on the basketball team because they were the tallest guy in the school?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, right?
Like you're just so hot, you have to go. The whole society funnels you towards OnlyFans because your body's so insane.
Yeah. And then you brought up the sucking dick analogy.
Yeah. We kind of did we agree that only 1% of the people, like we were like, I didn't want to say this part, but now that I have you here, I can ask you about it. I felt like I was like, you and I were like, yeah, only 1% of the people are there because they're really good at it. You know what I mean? Like they had the skill first, and then they were like, well, shit, I should parlay this into some cash. Like, you know what I mean? Like someone starts playing the violin, right? And they get really good at it. And then one day they're like, fuck it, I'll just take my violin down to the subway station, open my case and play and make some money. No one starts playing the violin because they want to work in the subway making money, right?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly where it came from.
Right. And so
it's almost dumb for you to not make money on it if you're that good at sucking dick.
Right. If there's a market for it, fuck it, just do it publicly and make money.
And the reason we were talking about it is because we were talking about it in relation to CrossFitters, and like who in the CrossFit space is so good at fitness, but really wouldn't want to be doing it otherwise.
Oh, right.
You remember that?
Right.
Yeah, that's why I called. I wanted you to throw that in there.
Oh yeah, and we were kind of tripping, right? That we were just blown away that someone could think, and he did it, which is kind of crazy. we were kind of making the presupposition based on what we know about Matt that like he did it strictly for finance. Like, fuck it.
He's so good at fitness that he almost had to do it.
Right. Right.
And then like the second he was done, he was like, thank God. Now I don't have to kill myself every morning on the assault bike.
And he was open to that too. Like, it wasn't like he was in denial.
Oh yeah. He said it multiple times, various platforms.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's like that. He's just so hot that he has to open an OnlyFans. He had to win the CrossFit Games.
Yeah,
it's like stupid for him not to.
I have the discipline and the capability and the mindset and all the components to win this. Fuck it, I'm just going to do it because I have the skill set.
You watch Jason Hopper do a bunch of thrusters, and you're like, oh, he's a little too tall. His elbows are like really kind of bendy at the top of the rep. But when you watch Fraser do thrusters, the dude is made to do thrusters.
Yeah, Jason Hopper looks like he was born on a horse and never got off it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's good at it, but he wasn't made to do it. He's got to work real hard. And so did Fraser, but he's just better than everybody via his birthright.
And obviously his discipline, right? And his
commitment. I wasn't taking that away from him. No, it's like it's both.
Yeah.
It's like the Michael Jordan thing where you're better than everybody because you work hard and you're born to be great.
Yeah.
And it's just like that OnlyFans chick. It's like, holy hell, you're so good at sucking dick and you're so hot, and now you're making $100,000 a month. It'd be stupid to not do it.
But we do think that it's slim to none who are like, fuck it, I play the violin anyway. I might as well just go outside and raise some cash.
Right. Right.
Yeah, amazing. All right. Well, thank you for the clarification. How are you doing?
Good.
Are you making any
I just realized that CrossFit Games hadn't posted on any of their social medias in at least 5 days.
I was tripping on their Instagram account. I think you and I talked about it, but only for like 2 minutes. I was tripping on their Instagram account. Let's say the games cost $20 million, right?
Right.
And then if you go to the CrossFit Games Instagram account and you look, and obviously they're not making money off of it. So you have to think of it, if you'll bear with me, this imagination piece, you have to think of it as a promotional material, right? You're going to throw this event and you're going to show all these pictures and all this cool stuff that happened there so that people get FOMO and want to go next year or maybe want to go into a gym, right? That's kind of the premise of the games.
I suppose that's if you're assuming that's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it would be for me if I ran the
piece.
Yeah. If I ran the company, it would be a promotional piece. It would be a party, right? But look, dude,
right.
They only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 24 max posts on the platform that has billions of users, that is Instagram. Shouldn't they be making 24 posts a day? Not 24 posts for the whole week? Shouldn't they be making 30? How many posts would you make a day if you were running CrossFit Games Instagram during the biggest event of the year?
Under the assumption that the games is running, I would probably run in minimum 5 per event per division.
Yep. Okay.
Which would be 15 women.
So
men
that
teams.
would be 30 posts a day.
Sure. Who was it that told us that I think it was Wimbledon had like 1,000 posts a day while it was going on or something crazy like that?
Yeah. I mean, you would just you would just be harvesting like a motherfucker. I mean, bare minimum 1 every half an hour, 24 hours a day around the world, I'd be posting something. That would be 48 a day. I wonder what happened. I wonder if that was the plan or Lazar's death made it so that it fucking threw them off, or I wonder what happened. You would
pretty crazy.
You would think that you could just say it was Lazar's death, but even then you can't do it. It's $20 million. You can't throw away the $20 million. But they weren't posting even before, right, on YouTube. So like it's kind of hard to say it was Lazar's death threw them off.
Well, previous to the video that Don made and they put out on YouTube, they hadn't put up anything new in minimum 2 months.
Yeah, bizarro.
On the CrossFit, on the CrossFit YouTube.
I think the word is
and then the Instagram and TikTok things are wild because they're pretty active on those.
You have
and,
to.
And it's nuts to think that like the death of Lazar would have anything to do with them posting anything about burpees or squats or affiliates or any of that.
Well, they're probably scared. You know what I mean? Because they're that's the silent mob. Because every post from here on out is going to be like, it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? But you have to just take that as a given. You can't be scared. Jonathan Ortega says only 3 to 5 posts a day. Are you kidding me?
Who's this KF guy? Do you know who KF is? Is this a new guy?
I think so. I've kicked him off once before.
I kind of like him.
Don't you think Hiller would be posting a lot because his entire channel is bashing CrossFit? I don't think his whole. How is his channel bashing CrossFit?
That's one way to look at it.
Andrew did post a lot. You posted a shitload during the games, didn't you?
Specific postings. It was mostly in relation to Lazar and the happenings.
Yeah, 3 a day. I think you were posting maybe 3 a day. 3 a day is a lot for like a private account. Here's the thing. Jonathan Ortega said 3 to 5 a day. I guess that depends on how you use Instagram, but I use it to get news. And so I would need 30 posts a day. You know what I mean? I would want to know who's winning the events. After every event, I'd like a post just to be on even the leaderboard.
I know that I said that I wouldn't
delusional.
have run the games.
Say it again.
I would not have run the games.
I hate it that you're right. I think you're right.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know if that's your opinion the whole time. Is it? You kind of
I truly saw the games as something that would heal, right? I thought we would do the games, people would heal. I was even crazy enough to think that Luka might even take the floor. I thought the whole place would go crazy. I thought the whole thing would be a celebration of Lazar's life, which it ended up being a kind of the opposite of the celebration of Lazar's life. It ended up being like just a zombie walk and a wake, right? It was a really kind of a depressing wake. And it did the exact opposite of what I thought or wanted it to do. And then I was talking to you, and if I mischaracterized this, let me know. You said, hey, you were steadfast through the whole time when we talked. You're like, hey, they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be doing this. And then at the end, your greatest argument, and this is the one that finally made me flip. You said, hey, first of all, me and you were talking on the phone, and me and you were both, I think, struggling with the same thing. We were struggling with the fact that people we like were in pain and having outbursts that were making it hard for us to look at the internet. We were seeing like so much confusion and pain and fighting that we were like, fuck, we can't handle this anymore, this kind of fighting. And so then you said, hey, if they wouldn't have had the games, 12 of these 14 threads of drama, whether it be people asking for their minute back or whatever, they wouldn't be here. And then and that's when I thought, oh God, my life could use so less drama now. Maybe Hiller's right.
Did I tell you the birthday analogy or no?
No, tell me.
It's like you have a bunch of 10-year-olds come over for birthday cake and for a birthday party, and there's a cake on the table, and then they all sit around and they're ready to eat it, and you tell them they have a choice. It's like, hey, you want to eat the birthday cake? Well, they're all going to say yes because they're there for a birthday party. And it's like, well, you just so you know, if you eat the sugary cake, you're going to be addicted for the rest of your life and blah, 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 and all the bad things that could happen. They're like, I don't care. I'm here to eat the cake.
Right.
But in all reality, the parents of the family should have either not put it there in the first place or should have taken it away.
Right.
And I kind of look at, well, the games athletes are going to compete because they're athletes, they're fitness people, they're going to do it. And it's up to Don as the protector of whatever it is that the best idea to move forward is, would have been to give them a better option or not put it there.
Right. Don't put it there.
Hey,
yeah, that's
we got pizza, but not cake. I don't know.
Right. I have a lot of
kids, so maybe it's a bad analogy.
No, it's a perfect analogy. I love it so much. I would make a whole show just on the fact that it's not an analogy. That's why I never let my kids look at my cell phone ever, because now I never have to talk to them about looking at my cell phone. You know what I mean? Because the first time they get it in their hands, they're going to spend every day being like, hey, can I look at your phone for a second? And
you also can't be mad at the kids for wanting to eat the cake because it's what they do.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say that too. I don't I'm not mad at anyone for the games going forward, and maybe it's easy for me not to be mad because that would have been my decision too. But I just misread.
Cake.
Yeah, I gave him cake.
So
yeah.
post pictures of them eating cake.
Yeah.
And keep on going, which is why it's weird they don't have anything on Instagram.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well then,
Like,
yeah, you're right.
Don't act like you didn't give the kids cake, you
Right.
weirdos.
Right. That's
You
a good
did
point
it.
too.
So
Yeah.
don't hide it.
Damn, you're good at this analogy shit.
I don't know. I just like them. I think it makes it easy.
Yeah. Well, you need to understand shit, you have to have context and relativity, right?
Right.
For people dying
And
of
that
COVID
said, I
had
think
4 more comorbidities and were over 80 years old. The vast majority. Like, that's important. That's context and relativity.
And you got to pay a little bit of attention to get that far.
Yeah.
If you look at it for what it is, it doesn't look so good. That's why I sent you the Greg Doucette video this morning.
Oh God, I watched like 2 minutes of it and I just started fucking hating him.
You don't like him at first glance anyway, though.
Well, I don't like him at first glance, but I did like it how he used his normal voice a little bit in this video. I was like, oh, thank you. He's not using that really high voice, that fake voice of his, or I don't know which one's the fake one. But I did like it that he was using a normal. He didn't sound like a Muppet for a second. But then to compare being last, his experience in a triathlon being last versus someone who was in first place to Lazar, it was like right away you lost me on that premise. And the people who had taken last in other events,
that make you self-conscious.
Pardon me?
He says things that make me self-conscious of when I create content. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, you mean like you learn from him? Like, hey, I don't want to come across like that. Yeah. Okay. Or I do, or the opposite.
He says the lifeguards weren't close enough. And I know what he's doing there. He's assuming and hasn't even thought about it yet. But everyone in the CrossFit space is currently trying to figure out whether or not those two people were lifeguards, right?
Right.
So the second he says that they are lifeguards, and he says it multiple times, the entire video doesn't have the context needed to create it in the first place.
Right.
So when I say it makes me self-conscious, I'm like, I wonder how many things I would ever say that would turn someone off immediately because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, the thing is that guy's so popular, you just have to know the masses aren't even really listening. It's like the argument between volunteer and paid people. It's like there's no argument there. It's just idiot talk. We're back to DEI. The talk should be about the merit and qualifications. Hey, let me ask you this too. I bet you that the last 3 people who swam in had 3 paddle boards right next to them the entire time at that event because they were probably pulling up the rear.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And so right away for him,
that knows about the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. When's your next video? When's your next video coming out? Okay, go ahead. Finish that, and then I want to know when your next video is coming out.
The thing about that is that CrossFit hasn't posted in 5 days, and this dude's got 2 million followers on YouTube, and each of his videos get over 100,000 views.
Yeah.
On top of the Mitchell Hooper video, on top of whatever else is going on, that's the message people are getting, and it's not in good context.
Do you think that Doucette? Yeah, I totally. They've taken over the air. It's all the negativity there. It's the same thing that happened in Floyd 19. Greg had fired the media team, and we had no loudspeaker to talk back, and so CrossFit's just completely abandoned the airwaves, and their story is being told for them, and it's not making them look good.
Correct.
Hey, do you think that Doucette feels obligated to make posts, to make videos? Like, I know you don't.
Who feels obligated?
Do you think I know you don't feel obligated. Like, and you and I have talked about this a lot. I mean, I've always known that about you, but we've talked about it a lot in the 2 weeks. Like, for you, making a video every day isn't about making money. It's about like discipline and focus and practice and commitment. And then when you were done, you broke away from that. And then now you're going through another process of what it means to make videos. You're doing some, I guess, some soul searching. And as we all should be. And, but do you think he feels obligated? Like, when I watch 2 minutes of his and 2 minutes of Mitchell Cooper's, And I felt like it was insulting to their fans. Like it had this component of like, oh, you have to. You have to.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, when they put up that many videos, you feel like they yes.
I have to.
Correct.
Yeah.
And no, I do not feel that need. And I told Alexis this morning, it's like I just need to want to do it. And generally, and every time I do want to, yes.
Yeah, I've been with you on the phone when all of a sudden you get an idea and you're just like, I got to go.
Oh, that's how I put up the one the other day. I had that bit about how Don's wanting to get 30 million CrossFitters. And I thought at the end, around the 9-minute mark, I hit it. It's like, hey, dude, you got everyone's ears, and this is what they're hearing. That CrossFit kills people.
Right.
And then you see it in the Greg Doucette video. Like, that's what you're gonna get.
This is really horrible, but it's probably true. That is they spent $20 million this year to tell the world that CrossFit kills people. And whether it's true or not, I mean, it's not true, but that's the message. That's a failed marketing campaign. I think. I mean,
I just wonder. Clearly, they don't look at it like a marketing campaign. I would bet that there was no conversation that went on behind closed doors. Like, we got to run this thing because it's our marketing campaign.
Why do you think they do it? And by marketing, let me be more specific. I mean, as a brand statement, right? Like, hey, we crown the fittest. That's what we do. That's part of our brand. And it's strong.
Well,
and it's awesome. I love that.
You can't say that either. We crown the fittest and then run the competition the way they did.
Oh, no.
Well, I think I might be unique in this one as well.
I don't think you're unique. I just think you and I differ on that.
I don't think that you can, for as many years as you have the rabbit in the hat, just show that you have the different rabbits in different hats. You ruin the illusion of what it means to have the test of fitness.
Because you're in the camp of it wasn't a full test.
Yeah.
Like there was a plan.
Well,
there was a plan. We accept the fact subjectively. We all fucking close our eyes and accept the fact this is the test of the fittest. And I'm being a little exaggerating. And cool, we're cool with that. But now all of a sudden you didn't even do the test and you want us to accept it? Sorry, we can't suspend disbelief anymore.
I actually think it was you I talked to this about. It's like, hey, if you and I are running a mile and we both do 1,600 meters and one day you run it in 5:01 and one day you run it in 5:02 and I happen to run it in 5:01 on the day that you run 1 second slower, I'm a better mile runner and everybody's okay with that. But the second you take the distance from 1,600 meters to 1,500 meters and I happen to just be better every single time no matter what, you can't claim to be better at running that distance than me.
Right.
It's no longer a mile.
Right.
It's a different test.
Right.
For fuck's sake, like everyone knows that the test of fitness is created by Dave and who the hell knows, but at least it was an illusion that we could all agree on.
Yes.
And the illusion's been destroyed.
Right. Solid. You're on solid footing. I hate you. You're on solid footing.
I think I said in that video, like, dude, James won the competition, but the fittest on earth claim is destroyed, and that sucks.
Right. No fault of his own.
No.
Right.
And he had a great weekend, and he was the best competitor there. The difference there is I can't even say fittest because
I do like this counter argument.
I heard all the boys say it's a aerobic based test. It's like very grunt work aerobic based, and like that's okay, but fittest is hard to say.
I do like this argument though, Andrew Hiller. That do you have a middle name, Andrew?
Gerhardt.
Oh, Andrew Gerhardt Hiller. God, that's a great name.
Thanks, Dad. Grandpa.
Andrew Gerhardt Hiller. I do like this argument that every year has there's many years with asterisk marks by them.
Correct.
Roman breaking his leg, Rich falling off the rope, Tia Toomey not being there, COVID. So I do like that to kind of push up against your argument a little bit. Like, hey man, like there's always going to be something.
You're right about that. But the something was an elimination of tests and changing of workouts to fit time domains for broadcast scheduling.
Right. Well, can't argue that.
Like if you lose a competitor or two, it's like, all right, that's fine.
Even
Injury. I'm not even insinuating that Lazarus' death has anything to do with the test of fitness. Like they could have had event 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in a row, and it would have still been the complete test. And if James wins that, That's the test of fitness.
Right. Hey, you know what would have been? I totally agree. You know what would have been cool, Andrew, is if the year Ricky popped, if he would have won. You know what I mean? How much more interesting does that make the conversation? Well, he won. Yeah, but he was on drugs. But he won. But he was on drugs. But he won. He was the fittest guy in the planet. Hey, him winning on steroids is like saying that guy's 66-yard field goal doesn't count because it wasn't in a regular season game.
Count?
I guess they're saying it wasn't in a regular season game.
Preseason.
And I'm making this up. I'm totally making this up. But the only argument I can think of is the fact that in preseason, people don't have their best players out there for some reason. So it wasn't a complete test of the fittest. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a complete test of a guy kicking a field goal under the pressure that is the National Football League. I just made that up. No one's told me that. That's the only reason why I can think that records don't count in preseason. So they were missing 2 workouts. You know what I mean? It's kind of like your argument. I guess I'm trying to draw a parallel, trying to tie it all up.
I get it. They would never use like someone hitting a fuckload of home runs in a minor league or baseball spring training towards the regular season. They wouldn't do it.
Susie, tell why don't we have pools or lakes at affiliates? KF, listen to this. I don't think they need eyeballs on the brand when they just killed someone. Look, you don't understand, KF, what Andrew's argument is. Andrew's argument is like, there's going to be eyes on the brand. People are going to talk about this event no matter what. And right now, all people are saying about the event is that someone died. And so if CrossFit had a microphone, which they do, and they used it, they could control the narrative also. You know what I mean? So if you get busted for peeing in a field because you were fucking about to, your bladder was supposed to explode, and you go to jail and you're now on the sexual offenders list, all people are going to see is that you're on the sexual offenders list. What Andrew and I are saying is if the guy who took a pee was like, hey, how about fuck you? I had my baby in the car. It was 100 degrees outside and I couldn't make it to the bathroom, so I just ran out to pee real quick. All of a sudden, the story has changed and people can start adding different perspectives to it. And what Andrew and I are saying is CrossFit's not saying anything. You're complete. How are you listening to this show and completely missing the point? Son of a bitch.
You're talking to the KF guy?
Yeah. Barry McCockiner, new member. Thank you. Barry McCockiner.
Hey, it's good to have the KF guy here.
It is.
Or girl, whatever.
We already have Patrick Lang. We already have Patrick Lang.
Yeah, but how long did it take for Patrick Lang to become cool?
Yeah, that's true. He still vacillates between cool and not cool.
I hope KF sticks around for a bit. KF is the project, dude. KF is one of those 30 million people in the world who thinks CrossFit kills you now, and now you've got to slowly change their mind.
God, I love your perspective. That's great. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that.
KF said so. I'm kind of just. I have my computer open in front of me. I'm just looking at the comments. He said something about why didn't you put up the video? It's like, well, I don't want to make games content because I don't see the point. Because I wouldn't have run it. I don't think that it's the fittest. I don't think that the tests were. Every single time I watched anything, it's like, well, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Whatever. So I really didn't watch much of it. So and like I told you earlier, if I didn't like it or I don't want to make content on it or I don't think it matters, I'm not just going to do it to do it. Hey, and that's the worst part about some of the content I see right now. You go live and you have 10 times the live viewers you typically have, so you just have to go live for the sake of going live. That's ridiculous. I'm not talking about you because you always go live.
I understand.
And there's a difference there.
I take no
right?
I take no offense to that, by the way. Zero. I feel I let that dip right into my soul. Yeah, I totally get it.
So
what's crazy is this too. Let me throw this out here, Andrew. These shows that I've been doing this last week are the hardest shows I've ever done. And it's amazing to me that someone would want to go live right now. Do you know what I mean? Like I actually a couple of days ago had a morning where I actually did not want to go live. I was like, ooh, twice. I actually, and I had it once at the games. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Yeah, and some people are inspired to go live. Daniel Wynn, Andrew Hiller, good to hear your voice again. I agree. So great to hear your voice. I cheat though. I call him 5 times a day. I cheat.
Where's that Matt Reynolds comment?
Hold on. Let me read this really quick. Let me read this real quick.
Not to.
Let me read this real quick, and then you can. I don't want to hurt anyone, and I want to move with kindness. I want to make room for self-care and growth, and do my best to be a compassionate person with people who cross my path. Okay, I just needed to read that to myself one time. Okay, go ahead. What about Matt Reynolds?
So somebody commented that or what?
No, that's my theme for this show. My wife has been like telling me the importance to like just be like she's always done this for 25 years, but to remind me that who I am, and it is who I am, it settles that I need to be what are the words? That I don't want to hurt anyone. So like this morning I read Dave Schrunk's post on Lazar, and it's like fucking 4 paragraphs of beauty, and then there's just one thing at the end that fucking I'm like, really, dude? And it's like, but I need to be like, my wife's like, hey, it's where people are at, and you need to move with kindness around that and compassion. And so that's just where I'm at. That's where I want to be. You know what I mean? So she sent me that last night, and I woke up this morning and I read that. That was the first thing I read.
Have I ever told you about the thing that happens when I stub my toe? Like you're in the middle of the night, you're walking around and you like hit your toe on the bedpost or something.
Yeah, that sucks. Or my knee on the corner of the bed. That's the worst.
It hurts like a motherfucker, right?
Yeah. And everyone's sleeping, and
something
you're just
that
like,
I've done as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Is I immediately try to think, okay, that's fine, it's good, and then you just kind of move on with your day, because there's like all you want to do is freak out and spaz out about it, and maybe even you broke your fucking toe, your pinky toe,
right?
And every time I do it, it's a practice to like not react, and then you just kind of move on.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So when it comes to this thing on Dave Schrunk's post, it's like, well, all right, let's move on.
And I love the guy. I fucking love that dude. Yeah. He fucking, when he looks at me, I feel so fucking good. When I interact with him, I'm like, man, I feel good being around this human.
And then before you know it, you have no idea what time you stub your toe, because you do it every day.
Right.
Like just, it happens all the time. Yep. And it's like you didn't do it on purpose. It's like, get over it.
Andrew, I don't know if this is going to resonate with you, but for me, I had that moment. It was when I had like my first cell phone. It was like a work cell phone I got like in 2000 or something. And they were these little Nokia phones. And if you dropped them, they would blow up into a million pieces. The battery cover would come off. The battery would fall out. The screen, the keyboard, there was like this rubber grommet, and it would pop off, and the little keyboard plastic thing would be over. And you'd have to gather all the pieces together, and put it back together while you're waiting in line at the DMV. And I remember the first time I dropped my phone, and I just thought, okay, just be cool. Like, don't be embarrassed at all. Just accept it. Like, it's fine. And so the 500 times I've dropped my phone, that's that moment for me. It's like, whatever. Like, don't even react to it. Like, you know what I mean? Let's say you're carrying groceries into your car and you drop your phone, falls out of your pocket and hits the ground and bounces down the street. Just chill. Put the groceries away, still kiss your kid in the car, then lean over and casually pick up your phone. It just is what it is. That was my kind of like toe bumping moment. It is.
Didn't you early in this show talk about having things and just like you, in relation to even vehicles, it's like this car isn't even mine or whatever, that shouldn't matter.
Yeah, in your basically in your absolute truth, if you want to stay connected to the truth, you have to, that's where it is. It's all personal accountability at the highest level and responsibility. Someone cuts you off and you're pissed, it's your fault in the truth. The second you're not acknowledging that truth, you're disconnected from God or whatever. Your inner peace. You're disconnected from it. Whatever you want to call it.
I do really enjoy when kind of life tries to fuck your shit up, because then you get to see how you feel about it.
Yeah, like on April Fool's when my wife told me she was pregnant and she didn't tell me the opposite for fucking 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I really loved that. I was like, wow, that was like doing I got to do a time machine or like an acid trip and then come
To
back.
see what would happen.
Yeah, to see how it was fucking amazing. What an experiment she ran on me. Yeah, I loved that.
How much later did you actually end up getting pregnant when that happened? I forgot.
Years. I had 5 years. I don't know. Years and years.
You were probably more prepared for that, right?
Oh yeah, I was filthy. I was fucking one. I was living in a fucking a 400 square foot apartment, making fucking $2,000 a month, and the next time I was filthy rich. Yeah,
I wonder if she do that on purpose. She tested you.
No, she always fucks with me on New Year's, on April Fool's. You know what she did one year? As I'm driving Avi to tennis, she goes, "Hey, by the way, Avi wants to quit tennis." And like and I take him to tennis 5 days a week for the last 5 years. And I'm like, on so many levels, it rocked my world. I was like, why didn't he tell me? Have I been pushing him too hard? Like it just fucked my shit up. And I had to fucking sit with that for 30 minutes. And I'm just, and I'm reading the text and I'm looking at him and I'm just like, fuck, dude. I was tripping. And then I did the same thing to the tennis coach and it fucked the tennis coach up.
So you stole her thing.
Yeah, but I didn't know it would fuck him up actually. You know what I mean? But he was fucked up. Like he's all stoic and shit. But then when he thought that when I showed him the text message, he fucking just went inside, like, you know, and started just reeling. Like
inside his own head or inside a house?
Inside his own head. Like he started reeling. And when I told him the truth, he's like, dude, why didn't you tell me that it was a joke? I'm like, I don't know, because my wife didn't tell me. But I only let him sit with it for like 5 minutes. But I didn't know. It was kind of cool because I got to see how much he cared, because he fucking loves the shit out of my son. Like they have a fucking relationship. You know what I mean? They're homies. So
April Fool's is always that day everybody posts on Instagram random shit that isn't true.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you know it's fake. But I remember the one time Alico, and it was a long time ago, posted the square bumper plates on April 1st. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing.
Wait, what happened? Alico did what?
They posted a picture of square bumper plates on April Fool's Day. And this is like way early on in Instagram, or maybe I just felt like I was not as into it, obviously, as I am now. And I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute. No way. This won't work.
I'm going to tell you.
The bumper plates, you got to be able to drop them.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm retarded. I'm not fucking brain dead. Thanks, Andrew. I
know.
I'm going to tell you a story here. You ready?
Yeah.
This one's fucking wild.
Let's see.
So I'm standing next to Dave. I don't think I've told this story. At the swim event.
When you standing next to him. Okay.
And Anya, Lazar's fucking angel of a fucking fiance, comes up and she's fucking crying. And her and Dave have an interaction, and the process starts, right, to start looking for Lazar. I've told that interaction they've had, I've told it a shitload of times, right? They have that interaction. She says, where's Lazar? He says he's out there. She says, no, he's not, because I just saw him at the Orange Buoy. He can't that was, 10 minutes or 5 minutes ago. He can't possibly still be out there. Dave turns over to one of the staff and says something like, is Lazar's chip in? And they say, yeah. And she gets this moment of relief, right? And she goes, I'm sorry. Right. And I give her a fucking hug. I'm like, there's nothing to be sorry about. But I'm still tripping because I already saw the dude swim in the water. So I'm like, I'm not believing that his chip's in. You know what I mean? I'm like already went to conspiracy theory, right? So then she takes 2 steps away and he turns to one of his staff and he says, get me a fucking list and eyeballs on every single fucking person as they come in and who has come in, and get it to me now. Right? So this staff runs off. So I turn around. So then now people are pouring in, right? And I'm standing there with Anya, and then Luca comes up. I think it was Luca. And he's looking for Lazar. So then I just stop what I'm doing and I run into the athlete area where the athletes are that have come in. And I walk up to this athlete and I say, "Have you seen Lazar?" And the athlete says to me, "He's probably at the bottom of the lake." I swear to fucking God, that happened. And the athlete was completely joking, right? The athlete was completely joking.
Yeah.
Well, you have to assume.
I didn't assume that when you said it like that.
Yeah.
So
Map girl, Sevi, stop. I know it's crazy. It's just athletes being athletes. It's just athletes being athletes.
That?
Pardon me?
Do you think they remember saying that?
I would rather ask you that question. Do you think they remember saying that? I have no idea. I did. Well, I did not ask. I did not ask the athlete. What'd you say?
I don't know, like, the situational, how it was stated, how
totally joking.
Everybody's different. I'd assume if I said something like that, I'd probably remember it, but I also know a lot of people who just kind of talk and they don't remember a thing they say.
Right.
You just have to ask the person. Did you happen to be recording?
No. I don't think so. I haven't gone back and looked at the footage. My memory is that I pretty much, like, I just went into freak out mode. Like, I became obsessed with finding him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to be the guy who found him. I really wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be like looking at the ice barrels and his head pops out. You know what I mean? Like, I was already visualizing seeing him. I mean, it's a funny line if he didn't die.
Yeah, if it all happened like he was an ice barrel and there was a bit of a freak out, it would be that, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, it's pretty messed up.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
You didn't say who it was, did you?
No, I don't. No. I wouldn't. I don't think I would ever tell that. I mean, I would tell, like, in 10 years, I'd tell it.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
So it's not going to be in the behind the scenes. It's not in the behind the scenes.
Well, if I have footage,
what does that look like?
Well, if I have footage of it, I can't rule that out. But I don't think I do.
What does that look like? Are you directing that? What does the behind the scenes look like?
Well, first of all, it's fucked,
like creative.
It's fucked up because, one, I had fucked up access, and then two, the access was limited even further after Lazar's death, and three, I was fucking impaired, right? And I think I've lost a step. I used to be more edgy. I don't know, but I still think it'll be good.
You're worried about who's going to come on your show?
Pardon me?
You're worried about who's going to come and not come on your show?
Oh, no, that won't.
That's why you're less edgy.
Yeah. I'm being really nice to them. I don't want to offend them. What if they don't come on my show?
Right.
Terrified.
I ask because I've already stated that I don't have interest in talking about the 2024 games. It was ruined for me through so many different lenses that I just have no interest in it. And I was wondering, like, what angle you're taking with behind the scenes.
I'll just show it.
Just gonna
same way. Yeah, everything. Show everything. Show everything. There'll be a section in there where he dies. It'll be the whole thing. Think of it. It'll be an like, they're all kind of like anthropological. I make them as fossils, right? It'll just be there for historical sake. So everyone.
You have said that, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're anthropological studies. They're just, here's a fucking midget Armenian dude when you give him access to an event that he's been at since the beginning, and here's him interacting with the athletes, and someone died and someone won, and here's dad's crying. It'll just be like the normal shit. Just normal.
Hey, dude, here's the real question. It does. CrossFit be like, any footage during event 1 cannot be shown. Did you sign off on something that gives them that sort of pull on it?
Probably. I mean, you basically you sign away everything.
Right.
But I have told CrossFit even before, and I will stick to my word. If there's some they've never asked me to edit anything. You know, well, they did ask us to pull when we were live during the event, and they asked us to come down off of live. And it was Taylor and Bryson and we're on, I think, or Taylor and JR. We did come down off of live for a couple hours, but and I don't even know why they asked us to come down off of live. I wonder. I don't know what the what they were trying to manage, but I don't care either. But because I'm open to working with them, but I've always told them they can edit anything in the behind the scenes. And last year there were 14 episodes, and Dave didn't have us pull anything out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about me not agreeing with them wanting me to pull down the live stream bit on my Instagram?
Remind me of that again. What happened again?
The event goes, so the sequencing of events was, I was in my garage watching the event with Alexis, the swim. Stuff started happening. I was driving to a client's house, and I was screen recording the event, and it goes down. And then I find out that the bit that I have screen recorded is the bit that you can see on the stream where he's not making it, and then inevitably goes down, drowns in the lake at the 38-minute mark. And I posted it to Instagram. And I posted to Instagram because they took it down off the live stream. And I got the text message from someone who works over at CrossFit that asked me to take it down. And I responded with, I'm not on your media team.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay. Because,
that sounds perfect. Listen,
your live feed, and I'm like, I'm not taking my shit down.
You're not. The whole world is relationships. Everything is relationships, right? So I have a certain relationship with them, and you have a certain relationship with them. They dictate that relationship with you as much as you dictate it. You know what I mean? And the relationship that they have built with you has made it so that they can't ask you to pull it down. I mean, let me rephrase that. They can ask you to pull it down, but they have no. It's like the guy at the it's like the guy at the store. I give him $10 for an ice cream sandwich. He gives me $9 back. That's the relationship. The relationship you had. You're consistent in your posting and in your coverage of the event. And I don't understand. You're not in a give and take relationship. You're not like. Yeah, you handled it perfectly. I don't think it's wrong that they asked you. I don't know why they asked you. I don't know what they thought that they were going to hide. They were probably just panicking and damage control.
The same way that you don't know why they asked you to stop yours, I suppose.
Right. I don't know what they thought that was going to mitigate.
Dude, there were channels streaming it in Portuguese and Spanish, and it's all up on there still. And my next thought was, are they going to go ask those people to take them down too? Do they have their phone numbers? Why is it important that you ask me to take down mine?
Well,
and also,
it's not because you're the biggest voice in the space, although you might be. It's because you're the most influential. And their relationship with you, and they overstep the boundaries of your relationship. It's like asking your friend's girlfriend to suck your dick. Like, hey, you've totally overstepped the boundaries of the relationship. Do you know what I mean? But you could still ask. I'm not saying you can't ask. Your friend's out of town. You want a Hummer? Yeah. But what? But you've overstepped the bounds.
You got to add a layer to that. You asked your friend's girlfriend to suck your dick, but first you were courting her for years, and every single time you said no. So eventually she dates your friend, and then you ask her, like, hey, I want to help. Hey, can you help us? Like, fuck you.
Right.
Well, hey, I want a date. Oh, now you can suck my dick. Like, what the fuck?
And Andrew, and they didn't tell you why, right? It was just so that's another component. If they were like, hey, Andrew, for whatever reason, let's say, hey, we have a better angle we're releasing. We'll give it to you in 5 minutes. Can you pull it down? I'm just making this up. They didn't tell you why. And so they were just trying, like, so I can tell my kids stuff without telling them why, and they'll do it because that's our relationship, right? They don't even have a relationship to ask you stuff if their relationship with you is so poor, or I shouldn't even use the word poor because that has judgment. Their relationship with you is in such a way that to ask you to do something without reason sounds absolutely insane. But I still don't blame them for asking you because I don't know their reason.
The number of times I've had outreach from someone over at any branch of CrossFit is like so slim that may have been like a 1 of 3.
Well, the thing is, and of course I'm going to come to his defense, but Dave has tangoed with you. You guys have had a lot of communication, whether it be through public or behind the scenes, but he's also not the one who asked you to pull it down. He wouldn't be worried about that kind of minutia.
Correct.
Anyway, but he didn't. Yeah.
Correct.
But I mean, you have a relationship with Dave. Like if there was something you needed to say to him, I'm not saying you talk to him on the phone every day, but if there was something you needed to say to him or he needed to say to you, you guys are on a texting relationship.
Correct.
Yeah.
But they're often not really anything I need.
Right.
I don't need anything, but you're right.
Yeah. Someone said in here they love a good dick sucking analogy. I know, me too.
That's what you get on the Sevon podcast, right?
Yeah. But Andrew, but then the athletes won't come on this show. Oh no.
They wish that they were that fun. They're not that fun.
When people will make
I think you and I both know that there's just people who don't want to have fun. And that's fine.
There are some fun athletes. Rich Froning's fun.
Yeah. Oh no, that there's definitely a lot of fun athletes.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. Dude.
Ricky's fun. Ricky's crazy fun.
He's probably the most fun.
The funnest.
He's like top tier fun.
Right.
You ever see those tiers? It's like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier.
I've seen John Young's Mountain.
I've
seen John Young's Mountain.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Ricky's at the top of John Young's Fun Mountain.
Yeah. Gazan is fun.
That'd be a show that I'd be down with. It's like, hey, which athletes are the most fun?
Right. Gazan's fun.
Gazan is fun.
Yeah.
It would just get a little bit hairy with which athletes are not fun.
Fun means, I define fun as meaning like you can be yourself around them. You don't have to worry, like you can be yourself around them. That's fun, right? As like just a generic statement.
And vice versa.
Yeah, right. Oh, Anyola Kai's girlfriend is fun. Yeah. Fucking A. Jesus criminy.
Did someone say that?
Yeah. You should have seen the way she was dressed at the fucking athlete registration. My life sucks because I look away from that when I should really be looking at it. Like I tried to be a proper man. She was like just falling out of her clothes. It was crazy. And she has this great fucking smile and it's crazy.
Were they too big?
Her clothes? No, they were too small.
So how do you fall out of them?
You know what I mean? Like stuff just like fall, like, you know what I mean? Like your shorts, are so tight. I could see your dick a lot of times.
Oh, but I guess, yeah, it's falling out.
You know what I mean?
I got it. I understand. Yeah.
The way you wear your shorts, Andrew, sometimes allows me to see your Helmut.
I just like them.
I don't look away. I don't look away though. I don't look away when it's you, but when it's Anyola Kai's girlfriend, I look away.
So you're afraid he's gonna kill you. But in all reality, he'd probably like it.
Yeah, probably. You're right. Who doesn't like a guy looking at his chick? God, that's fun.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's the ultimate compliment when people tell me Alexis is attractive, or I see them looking at her.
It's confirmation. So the other day you did a video with her and she was wearing like a spaghetti strap. You guys were sitting down and someone's like, "Did you like that video?" I'm like, "I didn't hear a thing they said." I'm like,
Good.
holy shit. Andrew, move away.
Yeah, it's the
Move
best
out
part.
move out of the screen, Andrew. Move.
Yeah. I thought one of my best videos would be the one where she did one on Sporty Bet. Actually, I think it did pretty well.
Who are you voting for?
I
Who
had
are you
her-
voting
I had her
for?
act as if she was me. Donald Trump.
Oh, all right. Are you going to vote?
I always vote. I just
Oh, that's
really
crazy. I would never have thought someone like you voted. That's amazing. I didn't think your kind. I didn't think your kind voted. That's awesome.
I like free stickers.
Oh, and you get a sticker like that says I voted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other option is someone, I don't know. Oh, hey, dude, the whole voting thing is a complete waste. Nothing matters.
Like
Well, you probably don't want to get into this.
what's more of a waste, voting or taking creatine?
Voting.
Okay. What's more of a waste? I don't know. That's the only one I got.
And it's not so much that your vote doesn't matter while it doesn't. It's that nothing really changes that much.
I don't know. I'm hoping that if enough people vote for Trump, the border closes and we get freedom of speech back, and boys aren't allowed in girls' bathrooms. I'm pretty simple.
Have you ever been affected by a boy in a girl's bathroom?
No, not at all.
Do you know anybody who has been? Do you know anybody who has been?
Hold on.
Are you thinking?
Yeah. No. Hey, my tranny experiences are off the hook. Like all good. Like when I was a kid and I was around a lot of trannies, they were so amazing. It was so fun.
So basically, what you're saying, if there were no politics, there's no social media, no internet, you would just fucking love trannies.
Yeah.
But because there's internet.
I did have I just thought of one bad tranny incident I had, and I don't know if it's bad, but like, Avi was 2 years old, and they had a reading hour at the library in Berkeley. I'll never forget. I wonder which branch it was.
Right.
And I got there, and it was a tranny reading to the kids, and I had like a visceral response. Like I did not enjoy looking at it was gross. It might as well have been
2 years ago, wasn't it?
No, this is like 7 years ago. And I just remember looking at this, some trannies are just disgusting, right? It's like you're just so fucking unattractive. It's just crazy. And I just remember having like a response.
I saw an attractive tranny the other day.
Oh, I've seen a shitload of attractive trannies. Me and a buddy of mine were checking this fucking crazy fucking hot tranny out in San Francisco one time. We were sitting outside of the cafe, and this cop walks up and goes, "That's a dude." I'm like, "Well, she's hot. It's a black chick." But that was my only.
Like that I thought that it was an attractive tranny, but it was.
Yeah, but I don't. But that rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't think that why should my kid be. I didn't want to be there, and I didn't want to put my kid through that. Like, why would I put my kid in front of like it was bizarre. It wasn't even like Halloween or anything. They was like legitimately, it's like letting a psychopath fucking read to your kids. It's like, no, thank you. I don't care what they're reading.
See, now I have no issue with that when it comes to voting. I am in full agreement that
you're okay with kids
telling kids to change. Yeah, they should not be influenced to change their genitals.
Right. But we don't know any. Hey, but
I don't know any. Right?
Yeah, I don't know any either. You're right. I don't know any.
Hey, in a world where people are,
but I'm like really
so
off the beaten path, though. But I'm so far off the beaten path that has to be said too. You know what I mean? Like my world is so small. I have seen people on Trank at the park.
If it was larger, you'd see more.
Yeah, like if my kids went to school, like some parents were here the other day whose kids go to school and they said there's 2 fucking trannies in their kid's 7th grade class. And so my kids don't go to school, so I'm not exposed to those, 1,000 kids. But dude, yesterday I had a fucking kid on the podcast. I just had him on here because he set the world record. And I live in Libtardville, dude. And he offered up that my town's full of pedos and that he would never send his kids to school. I didn't even go there with him. He just fucking offered that up, a dose of that.
And you're insinuating that's because Biden's been president or what?
I'm insinuating that to normalize it. No, the church has had that shit forever in it, and the military and anywhere you get a fucking massive congregation of men. But
so what does it have to do with politics?
The politics, they want to normalize it. You know what I mean? Like before, when I was a kid, if you were a dude and you went to the girls' locker room, no matter what, if you had your dick out, you got taken to jail, right? And the only place, like occasionally, like you'd hear a news story of some student at UC Berkeley who refuses to wear clothes. You know what I mean? Or a guy at a nudist beach who walked up from the beach to his car naked. Or there were these rare things. Now it's just fucking everywhere, right? Like I said yesterday at some spa in Canada, there were 4 dudes with their dicks out, and it's like, holy shit, really? Or like Leah Thomas, you know what I mean? You got those girls changed. What did they say? They had to change in front of them 16 times a day, or some fucking crazy number like that. Like they had 8 sessions changing in and out of clothes. It's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that person shouldn't be allowed to compete against them.
Or you shouldn't be allowed in the locker room. Just that's it. So yeah, so I do think that it's the Democrats who are normalizing that, and that and that the other parties like, nah, we're not normalizing that. You know what I mean? That's why they're called progressive. They want to move forward with like some sort of blend of man and woman creature. And hey, geez. I'm okay with the blend of them on your own time. You know what I mean? I'm okay with it. Like I said, I used to go to parties and plays and all sorts of stuff where there were trannies. It's fine.
I have a black friend, so I can say certain words. That's
I have a black friend.
Is that the same sort of thing right there?
No, it's no. It's not the people I have a problem. No, here, I'll go with you really hard on this one. I don't have a problem with black people at all. 0. I have a problem with what's being portrayed as black culture.
By who's portraying it?
Fuck, I don't know. The white, rich fucking men in Hollywood. By Democrats who insist that fucking people with black skin act a certain way. I don't fucking know. But like, I don't have a problem with trannies. If part of their culture is reading to kids, then that's the part I don't like. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with Navy. I don't have a problem with Navy SEALs, but the ones that go rogue and start fucking, Hey, let me tell you this real quick. Just one thing. They tried to pass a law in California that would increase the I can't remember what it was exactly, but it would increase the penalty and the ability for pedophiles, and it would increase the penalty. This just happened. It would increase the penalty for pedophiles and make it easier to get them. And I think it was around illegal aliens even, because they were trying to stop ICE, that's a federal agency, from coming in and getting these people who were pedophiles or sex traffickers. And the argument, you ready for this? The argument was that it disproportionately affected the LGBTQYZ community. When you say that, then what you're also admitting is that the gay community or the trans community is where all the pedophiles are hanging out. You follow me on that? Yeah, that's crazy, right? It's like our local subway here in California won't release footage of crimes that happen because they think it will incite racism. What they're saying is like, hey, everyone robbing on there happens to look a certain. I mean, it's just nuts. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say? You want to talk about something fun? Go ahead.
No, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I kind of got lost in that.
When is your
It's a little
next video
messed up.
coming out? When are you like? I feel like here's what I think. The 2024 games happen. You don't want to make content around it, and not around it specifically, but around big portions of it. And so you're like, are you just like in a holding pattern until you're inspired again by something you want to make?
I called you or you called me during the games, and I told you I was done making videos.
I know. Fuck,
right?
I hated that. Hey, that broke my heart a little bit. I'm gonna tell you.
And
that hurt me a
I'm
little.
kind of sitting in a spot where, like, yeah, no, and I meant it. I'm like, hey, dude.
Oh, I know you did.
This shit. Hey, this shit sucks. It still sucks. Like, I think I told you, and I still feel this way. When I say shit, it kind of stays there. It doesn't really go anywhere. 2022, and I've done 700 something videos, and every single one of them is like pointing at stuff and trying to direct. And at a certain point, it's not even like worth talking about because something like this has happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've made videos on how Don is cutting costs and how Don is, hiring certain people that put people in spots. And for all I know, there's a downstream effect of those choices that led to this incident. And it's like, why in the fuck do I want to put myself into a position where I'm screaming at a cloud? And then, like, oh, you're screaming at a cloud only gets struck by a bolt of lightning. It's like, well, I'm just gonna go do some other shit. Like, I have a lot of energy and I can put it somewhere else because they don't care. They don't care. Hey, I when I make a video, it's not like I'm screaming for my own accord. I do it for, it's like the consensus. It's not a consensus, but it's like the thoughts of a group of people. That's why the comment sections have hundreds of comments.
Yeah.
That's why the engagement on a 20-minute video is 16 minutes long, because people they want it as well. And then people will just say that's a hateful thing. It's like, he's just a hater. It's like, no. Stupid people over at CrossFit HQ. It's actually a really bad idea to hire based on color of your skin.
Well, and don't
really
forget your sex too.
Take money out of the games.
Yeah, and your sex too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was crazy right before the games. How you exposed that they do sexual bias training or hiring. That was crazy. And you didn't even judge it for the way you made the post. For all they knew, you were like, it's funny how everyone assumed, right, that you were saying something negative. You just made those posts that showed that CrossFit hires people who fucking hate white people and who hate men, and specifically older men. But you didn't say it was bad. You just showed their posts. For all they knew, you thought it was good. But they knew. They knew for themselves that it would be something bad. And how did they know that? Well, because they know they're doing something bad. Hey, and then look what happened. The same thing that happened at Boeing. You had a catastrophic incident where someone died. I know, and people are like, you can't make that connection. Well, I just did. Hey, isn't it weird that Andrew Gerhardt Hiller, a professed chaser of clicks and views, could have had his biggest fucking week for clicks and views in the history of his YouTube channel and went silent? Have you processed that at all? I mean, you've been so adamant, but I've always known that there's something else obviously driving you, that it's a misunderstood.
I honestly believe that there's a difference being made, right? When I put stuff out into the world like that. And yeah, there's a tone and there's a way about it, but when something like this happens, it's like to no avail, and it's destructive and it's devastating. And I'm just like, fuck this. Fuck all of this. Like, the world's massive, and there's a large part of me that was like, fuck all of this. And it could have been any single athlete, and it sucks that it was Lazar, and it really sucks that it was him. But like,
oh, that's the most
this.
offensive. That's the most offensive thing, by the way, I've heard. It's crazy. And when I say this, like, I don't really care, but I see people saying it would have been different if it was. How would you have felt if it was Tia or if it was Andrea Pinheiro? Or I'm like, holy fuck. Like, for me, that's like dark thinking.
I don't care who it was with my
I
stance
know.
on
Who
it.
gives a fuck? I know. Who gives a fuck who it was? The only person who should care who it was is fucking Lazar himself. Yeah, there's some crazy thoughts coming out of this. I'm so glad. Have you ever wished ill on someone?
Maybe fleetingly.
I mean, I'm seeing some people wishing ill on people. I'm like, damn. I remember being in high school. This girl was fucking with my.
High school.
Yeah, it was high school. I was trying to think of the last time I wished ill on someone, and I thought of a time in high school I wished ill on someone. And you know what ended up happening?
I immediately went to high school thoughts, right?
This girl ended up transferring schools. I fucking was so angry at her. I think, you know what? I think she somehow got mingled up between me and I don't even remember the details, but I'm sure I was at fault. And she fucking told my girlfriend, like, I wrote a note to another girl, and I just started I started a jihad on her.
I don't know what that is.
Just like fucking psychopath, just like hating her, just like wishing ill will on her. And man, Jesus, please forgive me for my sins, Father. I apologize. I pray for that girl. I hope she gets the whatever pain she had. I hope she has the opposite in love and joy now. Times 10. I'm absolved. You're absolved of your sins, Father. Hey, you know who? One other thing I want. What's trippy about going to the games is how, like, I saw Travis Broit. You know, the guy I always like joke around about his voice.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's buff. He's like buff. He's like, I would never make that joke to his face.
Buff, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never make that joke to his face. Like, everyone you see is like buff. I'm like a little sliver of everyone there. I'm like, oh fuck. You don't look anything like how I imagine you to look from watching you on the internet. I was walking through the hallway.
That might be the thing about the CrossFit world.
Yeah. I was walking through the hallway, Andrew, and someone goes, it was shoulder to shoulder, and some guy's like, you're smaller in person.
Nice.
I just
Who
yelled,
said that?
I have no idea, but I just yelled, fuck you.
How do you even know they were talking to you?
Because I'm insecure, because I'm just an insecure little fucking little man. Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Hey, if you said small, you may have to be talking to me. Because I can't see over the crowd. All I see are people's butts and backs. Oh, Dan Guerrero writes, you are a tiny person. Listen, you look like a fucking meth head CrossFitter. If I had to guess one person who does CrossFit and meth, it'd be you. Your cheeks are so sunken in. You look. Max Holloway makes you look fat.
That's in the same world of Matthew, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm rolling up to a client's house. I gotta go in like 1 second.
All right, I love you, buddy. Thanks for calling.
You too.
All right,
yeah.
Bye.
First, I had to clarify the entire what's it called thing.
Oh yeah, the
OnlyFans thing.
OnlyFans, right?
It's good to be back a little bit.
Okay, well, thank you. It was fun having you. It was fun talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, maybe I delivered that wrong line. Let me rework that, Dan. You make Max Holloway look fat. That's what I meant. You make Max Holloway look fat. I saw Sarah in the lobby. She looked fucking hot. Holy fuck, I met Sarah's boyfriend. Holy shit. He's gnarly. Big smile, nice guy, huge. Man, I shook his hand. He has it's like shaking hands with a vice grip. I can't stand people who shake hands too tight. Like, I hate you for doing that. Don't squeeze my hand. Caller, hi.
Hey.
By the way, he didn't do that. Sorry, real quick. By the way, he didn't do that. He didn't squeeze my hand too tight. Sarah's boyfriend. He was cool as shit. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, caller.
Hey, Saman. I just, since Thursday of last week, after all of that has happened in the games, I was just wondering, and I wanted to get your perspective on this. And this is how I'm, thinking about the whole incident. And I just heard uh, how like Hiller was his perspective. I've heard your perspective. I've heard others in your podcast about this. But just hear me out and let me know what do you think. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I understand CrossFit cannot control the external factors, like the weather or the heat or whatever. But what it can control is the response time or the response. So then I was thinking, why are the athletes so angry, and why is the community so angry towards CrossFit? So what then I kind of discovered, it just purely just thinking about this the whole time, is difference here is the understanding the distinction between an unavoidable accident and preventable negligence. So this is very crucial, right? Because I've heard you giving so many examples of Jason Khalifa collapsing due to heat, or Kara Saunders or Annie, withdrawing from the competition due to heat during Murph in 2015, and there are so many other incidents, right? But if you see it at all those instances, the medical teams have rushed in immediately, providing life-saving care all the time. I've seen that. In fact, the most recent one that I can remember now while talking to you is Brooke Wells injuring her elbows, and then you can see everybody rush to her, and she was taken off the floor and all that. Now imagine if an athlete is doing a snatch 300 pounds, it falls on his head, he's bleeding on the floor, and all the medical staff and everybody's standing around the athlete and doing nothing about it. That would be, what would you call that? Would you call that negligence? I would say that that's negligence, and not taking, or not, the response time was lacking. So what I feel is what happened on Thursday morning, based on the eyewitness accounts and what I saw live, I think it was a lack of like prompt like intervention or help in a moment of obvious distress. And that is what I think the athletes and the community are trying to address. And I've heard Talking Elite Fitness and other podcasts, there is not much being talked about that. And that's everything is getting diluted because of that. That's the main point, is the lack of prompt intervention or response time. And that's why. And the other thing is, as humans, we look back at similar situations in the history to identify potential patterns of negligence or any such issues from CrossFit side, and then that builds up, right? That instinct stems from that desire for the accountability and the improvement. So I think it fuels anger and frustration. I think that's what is happening in the community. This is all just my opinion, Savan, and I really appreciate you going live like this and allowing people to come live and talk to you about this. So
hey,
yeah,
can I respond to what you're saying?
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
So with the way you painted the picture, which I think was extremely accurate,
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that you said that wasn't accurate was the fact that you pointed out all the times that people did respond. Well, we don't know the times people didn't respond, right? So that would be the only nuance I would change. Like Jeffrey Adler claims he was drowning and no one responded to him. So maybe there are hundreds of incidents out there where they're not getting response. I don't know. But other than that,
absolutely,
I agree with everything that you're saying from the perspective of let's say the insurance company, right? You're the insurance company. Like you said exactly what I would say if I was the insurance company, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, at that moment, did the athletes, did they deserve the comfort? Did they not deserve? Did they believe, is the event responsible that an athlete in the water should have the comfort knowing that if for some reason they were to black out or an alligator were to bite them or something, that there would be someone there within a 3-second time? I'm using 3 seconds because that's how long I heard it takes for the average person to go under and not be found. Did they have that? Should they have had that? Did they have that deal with CrossFit? I agree with you. Like, I think you nailed it perfect. But there's so much. It doesn't mean that we have to be limited to just talking about it from that perspective. Do I think that's a completely valid perspective? And it's the perspective I would be going for, and that there's tons of truth behind it? 100%. 100%. But the shit that people don't want to say, just so you know, is that there's a crazy disproportionate of young men, Lazar's age, having heart attacks right now by a vaccine that was mandated. Just for an example. Just for a fucking example. And so I'm not saying that it was the vaccine's fault. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get billions of dollars, his family should. But like, hey, there's shit to learn from this, right? There's like, hey, if you're an athlete, your takeaway should be you shouldn't be upset. You shouldn't be all those other things into eternity. Eventually you need to change that as like, hey, how in that position can I make it so that that doesn't happen to me? And how would I do that? I would ask at an event before if there were lifeguards or not. So I'm just saying that do you see what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. Holy shit. The truth is 500 people watched him drown.
Yeah.
And you know, was it preventable? 100,000 bazillion %, right? I mean, how hard would I saw someone did the math. What if they would have had 80 lifeguards out there at $500 a piece? So it would have been 40 grand, right? Like, yeah, they should have done it. 100%. They could have tied a buoy to their back. How irresponsible that events don't do that, right? Especially for a short 800-meter swim. Have you seen those buoys that they tie to people's backs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with you, but to have the conversation just in that regard seems to me to be missing so many valuable lessons, points, perspectives. I mean, what do we want to do? You know, there's people. Do we want someone's head? Like, do we want to hang someone? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. I just feel it's the frustration part comes from the lack of communication, like what Hiller was talking about. The posts. Since when CrossFit or CrossFit Games have not posted anything on it, there should be some kind of a press conference, some kind of a open, transparent medium through which they can communicate to all the athletes. And I hope, athletes like Pat and Brent and these guys can come over in your podcast and, talk about this. And then you can get their perspective too, because at this point of time, we are just speculating.
I think you just said their perspective. Don't you think you just said their perspective? One of their own died.
I hope. Yeah.
One of their own died, and they're lasering in on, hey, how could that not have happened? And I think you nailed it. It's like, hey, the response time was inadequate, and he fucking died.
Yeah. That's Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Very sober. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Jake Chapman. What do you call two gay Indian guys? Ramet and Jamet. That was good. That was a good joke. When Sebi mentions the vax, it's not just an example. I know what you're trying to say, but it doesn't make it anything less than just an example. If you got hit by a car, let's say you were crossing the street and it was a green light and you got fucking hit by a car and your life was changed forever. Let's say it tore off your leg. Would you feel better knowing that it was the other guy's fault? You're now a one-legged man with half a brain. It made you retarded. Would you feel better knowing it was the other guy's fault? No. Not at all. Caller, hi.
Hey, Seban. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Hey, so I had a chance to listen to you and Hiller, and I appreciate you guys doing the live this morning. It was great. It was good to hear Hiller's voice.
Could you tell how much it meant to me? He's like my boyfriend. It fucking meant so much to me that he called. Meant so fucking much.
I could see it in your body language, especially too, and just like how much warmth and excitement it brought you. So I appreciate you doing that for all of us too. I think it ties into what I wanted to ask you, but I think him being on this morning after being so quiet meant a lot to a lot of people. Because we're so used to seeing him all the time and used to that engagement, and I think that's what kind of parallels for CrossFit right now is that we're not getting that type of reciprocation from CrossFit, and they're being so quiet and so conceited. I'm sure they're having to be very calculated.
What do you mean conceited? What do you mean by that? Is that like arrogant or no? Am I not?
To be fair, like I can only imagine, and I'm sure you being close to Dave, you can only imagine what he's going through right now.
Right.
And, as much as, we can disagree with Don and how he's been handling CrossFit, I would hate to be in his shoes right now. I think any of us would, because it's that they're having to process a lot. I'm sure that, personally, professionally, just emotionally, they're just going through so much, and they're trying to be, they're trying to be think of themselves as like a person to process their own emotions and how they feel about Lazar's death. But they're also tied into the business aspect of it too, where I think they're having to be a little bit more quiet, a little bit more calculated, and think before they post things and go online and do these types of things, because the state of CrossFit right now is very, very fragile. And I think that one wrong step, one wrong move, one wrong conversation is going to leave an even more sour taste in the community's mouth, and especially the athletes. And I can only imagine that if they said or did the wrong thing, or even the direction that they decided to take, like they've got to be very, very cool, calm, collected, and calculated about their next steps, because their business and their brand is on the line. But what I wanted to ask you, or kind of talk about too, is, what do you think that the next step for CrossFit is? Having said what I did about, them trying to take some time to process their thoughts and their emotions and how they're going to tackle this. Because, having been there, dealing with the athletes, talking with the athletes, of the vast amount of frustration. And I think that what a lot of your callers have been talking about these past couple of days is now it's become where a lot of people want somebody's head, where they think firing Dave or firing Don or something else, some type of a ultimatum like that, is all of a sudden going to make things better. When in reality, does somebody have to go? I'm sure it's going to end in Dave or Don being fired or some type of like executive shift. But then it begs the question of like, what is it really going to take for CrossFit to get back to being CrossFit? And that's what I wanted to ask you, because it feels like it'll never be the same.
Well, I've already put the move forward plan together. It's funny you asked. I was going to do a special show on it yesterday, but as the CEO, I already put a move forward plan together. That is, I mean, I was going to release it today, but I guess I could release it now. I guess I could. Well, let me ask you this: what do you do? What do you do when shit? Are you married?
No, sir, I'm not.
Oh, what do you do when shit goes bad? Like if you have a traumatic incident, what do you do? What do you do?
Personally, I exercise. No, that's probably the answer that you weren't looking for, but it's an escape for me to, rid my mind of a lot of like toxins and things that, the mind games that I play when I go through difficult things, because I think that's what we all do when we go through difficulties is we start playing 100 different scenarios, and those 100 scenarios turn into 1,000 different ones. And then we start asking ourselves all these questions and having these doubts and concerns that leads to anxiety, so on and so forth. So for me, I found the best thing is just to exercise. But at the same time, too, I've also found like the best thing to do sometimes is just to be quiet. It's kind of like what Hiller had done. Like, I'm sure he was just so, engulfed with emotion, and he wanted to go a different direction out of anger. I'm sure, just like anybody in his stance would. But I think that him, taking a second to be calm and cool and collected, it's good for his brand.
The reason why the reason why people say that CrossFit needs to be coming forward though also right now is they should be moving forward as business as usual, but they're just scared, right? But they shouldn't be, because they shouldn't be. They're afraid to put stuff out there because they know hate's going to come their way, but they should just fucking plow forward, business as usual. But I will tell you the go forward plan as the CEO of the company. I will tell you exactly what it is. In times of need, in times of stress, people should go to their friends and family. And so moving forward, this is what is going to I'm going to implement as the CEO of CrossFit. The games will only flow. The games will only flow through the affiliates moving forward. And that is the contraction back into family. The games will only flow through affiliates. Every question moving forward now will be what benefits the affiliates. You will not be allowed to do the open at home. You will not be allowed to submit videos from outside of anywhere. Everything will flow through the affiliates. If you are not at an affiliate, if you don't somehow be in contact with the affiliate, you will not be involved with the games, period. The games are now a complete 100% affiliate phenomenon. That'll be the directive. That's a directive now to the CrossFit community. You guys know it's a little early. I wanted to spring it later on today. Second of all affiliate owners will receive 90% off of all tickets for the CrossFit Games moving forward, and all tickets for regular Joes will be north of $1,500 a pop. All tickets will be north of $1,500 a pop. It will be an exclusive event except for affiliate owners. Now, if you're an affiliate owner and you'll be limited to 6 tickets and you want to buy the 6 tickets at $100 each or $200, whatever it is for you, and then you want to sell them for $2,000 each, make $12,000, I don't give a shit. Do what you want. This event will be for you. And if someone doesn't do the workouts in your affiliate, whatever we do, it's still to be determined whether we're going to get rid of the quarterfinals or the semifinals. But we'll start with the open and probably just this year go straight to the games. 100 athletes, something like that. Second of all, prize money will be cut in half, at least in half. So if it ends up being that there's no prize money, it could be. But all prize money will be cut in half. Masters, adaptive, and teen will now be brought back into the fold all the same week. There will be no prize money for them. It will be strictly a phenomenon for affiliates who want to celebrate their best athletes. And CrossFit will be starting a new hiring practice. Military personnel will get priority. They're all military personnel. Their applications for a job will rise to the top. And CrossFit will no longer hire. We will no longer hire based on sex, age, sexual preference, or skin color. We are now eliminating that. That's done. We'll based on your military career. And then after that, your military career will get your application pushed up to the front, and then it will be strictly on merit. And there will be a removal of all staff that don't align culturally with the company. We'll be making it. There'll be a dramatic cultural shift that aligns with the methodology and leaves all the woke values behind. So anyone who's been involved in setting the culture at what it currently is will be gone, and that includes if anything else. And if anyone has any issues with like, hey, you can't claim it's the fittest if you have to go through the affiliates, I'm fine. Everything has a process. That's in the same way you can't claim that the Super Bowl team that wins the Super Bowl is the best football team in the world. It's not. We could put together a better group of guys. But the quote unquote professionalization of the sport, we're done with it. It's now everything, because this is what people do in trauma. We go back to our family. We go back to our core. And I apologize. We lost our way, and now everything will be funneled back through the affiliates. It will be the greatest affiliate proposition you've ever seen. You could actually you become an affiliate today for $4,500. We're going to charge $1,500 for the games tickets. You're going to get them for $100. You can make all your money back. And then $4,000 or $5,000. And that's it. And if you live on Antarctica or you live too far away from an affiliate, then you won't be doing the open this year. It's okay. You can still do it at home. Just don't enter. I know there's some pressing questions. Will we continue to do it at Dickey's? I do not know. If we can get out of the contract, we will get out of the contract, and we'll move it to a outdoor facility. It's now going to be, we're going to find places where we can do it outdoors, near a lake. It's going to be completely 100% family event. That's it. It's pretty simple. And there's this misnomer that because you have 12 million followers, that your voice means something as an athlete. It does not. It does not. It's only that was the woke group that was afraid of that. And that's where we'll go. And it'll be the greatest games ever. So that's the go forward plan. I wasn't ready to release it yet, but that's it. Now you guys know.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I had one more quick question.
And I'm open to any I'm open to any feedback, by the way. But I probably won't take it. But that's it. Go ahead.
Can I ask a quick question then?
Please.
That's more. So kind of like what you were saying just then, and I was listening to Greg's episode that you did with him the other day. I know he wasn't even the biggest advocate of the games himself, and he ran the entire company. Do you think that the games is the issue with CrossFit right now? Do you think that they're, obviously, you have tremendous athletes who dedicate their lives to fitness, and this is how they make their living. It's a part of the sport that we enjoy watching as spectators and fans. But do you think that the games where it is right now is causing a lot of this frustration and anger and disconnect from CrossFit? Or do you think that just as a whole that we need a new identity in leadership?
I guess and I apologize for saying it like this. I guess I reject your notion that something's wrong with CrossFit. I don't think anything's wrong with it at all. I just think that since I was at the games and my show covers the games, that this incident happens to be, in the forefront. But I think that this is just such an easy fix. It's just an easy fix. You know what I mean? You have a cancer and you cut it out. You know what I mean? It's just it's a little blip. It's so easy to fix, right? Just move away from it. No one gets hurt. What's the downfall of taking the games back and running them all through the affiliates? It's a win-win for everyone except for someone who had some pipe dream of fucking becoming rich, going to the games and selling protein powder in a plastic bucket. I mean, that's just facts, right?
Exactly.
And so, I don't think that there is a problem. I think culturally that there's a problem, definitely for sure at the company, in terms of just hiring people based on their sex, age. I mean, we know that's happening. I mean, Hiller pointed it out right before the games. They got to get rid of all that shit. That's not who we are. That's the opposite of what the brand stands for: personal accountability and responsibility. But other than that, I think the community's fucking thriving. I'm fucking thriving. I'm a CrossFitter. Did you have some great work? I had some insane workouts this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the people who have 1 million followers, they have an influential voice. So if they want to keep whatever they say, I'm depressed, I'm sad, something's wrong, people will believe it, even if it's like what Hiller said to me. You seen any trannies approach your kids? No. You know what I mean? And so those people who are owning what the athletes are going through, it's like, okay, but that's your choice. But I think it's just such an easy fix. And the truth is Greg saw this in 2018 and I didn't, and I'm embarrassed it took me 6 years to see it. But as your fearless leader, that's just the way it's going to be. It's just going to be, we're just going to go back and it should have been like this all along. Everything is about the affiliates. If it doesn't benefit the affiliates, we're not doing it. And sorry, I don't mean to, other than the fact if Ricky Garrard works out at your affiliate, he has no value to the affiliates. Other than if fucking Fikowski works out in an affiliate, he has no value to the affiliates. Matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. The shit they say misconstrues what the primary business model and what the primary value of this great methodology is. I mean, shit, some of those guys don't even have their L1. Some fucking moron in the comments said, we'll believe you when you go to an affiliate, Sevan, or we'll take your word. How about fucking, these fucking dumb shits don't even have an L1. At least I've been to 50 L1s.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm kind of excited that I got my plan out there. I was going to do a show later today with cards and let people call in, but now there you go. You got it. You got it out of me.
Oh, sorry to get it out to you too early.
I'm glad. Now I don't have to do a show today. I can hang out with my kids all day.
Hey, that's what it's all about, right? Family first.
Yeah, so that's breaking news. You got it first. That is the future of the CrossFit Games. The affiliates will be ecstatic. I'm sure affiliations will fucking skyrocket now that people know this. They'll be able, it's actually a profit. They can actually make money. So it's cool. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of it. I didn't come up with it on my own. I spoke to my cabinet at length, and I'm very proud of it.
Well, it sounds great. I think that you hit the nail on the head with it too, because that's the affiliate is the identity, and I think that's the community aspect is what's going to get everybody through this and keep CrossFit what it is. So cool. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye. But Sevon, you never got your L1. Yeah, but when I wasn't married, I had a better relationship and better kids than 99% of the people who were married. Now I am married. Hasn't changed a fucking thing. Go fuck yourself, Greg Seed. Caller, hi. And hey, let me tell you something.
How's it going?
Let me tell you something. When I took my L1,
Talk to me.
I didn't bend over and fucking grab my ankles either. Like when they said that fucking D-ball slams wasn't CrossFit because it wasn't measurable, I'm like, bullshit. I call bullshit. Fuck you. So there, take
You're
that.
talking the slam balls?
Fucking
Like,
ankle grabber. Caller, hi. Sorry.
what's up, man? So I had a question, changing the subject a little bit, but I remember when and correct me if I'm wrong, when you started your podcast, you started the Matt, Savan, Matt, and Josh show. And I still go back and watch those. Y'all ever think about just doing a throwback one day and just getting the band back together?
So here's the story.
Talk to me.
I was driving in my car. I'll never forget where I was driving. This is the history of that podcast. I was driving in my car and I was texting with Matt. And he was a bit of a chatty Cathy that day because he does not really, we didn't text that much. And I said, hey, dude, you want to just get on a phone call and record it? And he said, yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun. And I said, we'll call it a podcast. He's like, cool. And I'm thinking in my head, fuck, I could do this while I drive my kids around because I drive my kids around a lot, right? So then I get off the phone with him and I call Josh Bridges and I'm like, hey, dude, Matt and I are going to do this show. What do you think? Or maybe I asked Matt first, hey, do you care if, I said, do you know Josh Bridges? He goes, yeah, I'm actually friends with him. I said, cool. I go, what do you think about doing, having him on the show? And he goes, oh, that'd be awesome. And then I called Josh and he said, that'd be awesome. So we just started doing a show. I quickly realized I couldn't drive around in my car because the cell reception is so shitty in Santa Cruz. So we ended up doing the shows, and I actually told Matt ahead of time. We were talking. I was like, hey, dude, I don't know if you want to do this. And he said, why? I said, because I'm pretty wild. Like, I'm going to say some shit like that's crazy, right? And I'm going to say some shit that's like really true, and it's going to rub fucking delusional fucks wrong, and they come at me all the time, but I don't care, right? And he said to me, his exact words was, no, I want to be free too. And I said, okay, cool. Yeah, it was super cool. So we did the show, and we did 20 shows, I think. And then at some point, he kind of just went quiet. And actually, the truth is around show, I'm making this up, but around show 16, 17, or 18, it started being more difficult to get him on. I'm making up the fact that I don't know which show it was, but at some point ahead of us coming to a halt, he was becoming harder and harder for me to get a hold of. So then then we hit the last show, and Josh knew why we weren't doing it anymore, but he didn't want to tell me because he had clearly had private conversations with Matt, right? So
got it.
So basically, I couldn't figure out why it was, right? And so I thought maybe I did something to upset him or whatever. So like 3 months passed, and Matt called me, and he's like, hey, dude, like I go on the show and I say shit and people just fucking shit on me and I'm not up for it, right? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like every time you step out of your house, let's say a bird shit on you, right? So he's like, hey, I go out and people shit on me and I'm not about that. I don't want to go out on a limb and get shit on. This isn't playing out basically how I thought it was. And I said, okay, that's cool. And now,
that makes sense.
And so I never knew if that was true or not, but flash forward now 5 years or 4 years, and he's been consistent in his message. He doesn't want to be shit on. That's why he doesn't do a lot of fucking podcasts. That's why he doesn't put himself out there. That's why he doesn't respond to a lot of stuff. He isn't.
Yeah, man.
Why would he like, he was in the public eye for so long and he doesn't want to go out and be like, hey, I'm voting for Trump, or I didn't get the vax, or he doesn't want to answer any questions like that because he doesn't want to fucking take the smoke. And I'm not judging him for that at all. That's all on him. But so that's what happened to that. That's what happened there. And like after 4 years of feedback, I believe that. I think that was actually his valid thing. Like, dude. And hey, most people, like, he already made himself vulnerable for 5 years physically. He doesn't want to, like,
sure.
And he's selling program now, and he probably doesn't want to alienate people who want to buy his programming or be a part of his program or his community because they disagree with him on abortion. You know what I mean? And it's like,
sure.
And I don't know what his stance is on that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it makes sense in that regard. I just think of the Joe Rogan comment. He always says, "Don't read the comments," because what I loved about y'all three is just the dynamic. Your personality, and you bring these sides out of the athletes that when they're doing their thing, promoting, and in the in the kind of like PC world, you don't see that of their personality. But man, just so many years, Matt was dominant, and then Josh was a dominant athlete and a Navy SEAL, and just having all three of your different perspectives, man, it just would be pretty cool seeing.
Dude, I would love
not
to
on the
do a
bullshit,
monthly show
but-
with those two. I would love to do a monthly show with those two. That would be so fucking awesome.
Heck yeah. And what I love about Josh, though,
I'd love
is
to
I
do a
feel
monthly
like
show
you
with
and
Kamala
Josh
Harris
resonate.
too, though. I'd like to do a monthly show with Kamala Harris too. Go on. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, good luck getting her to talk.
Right.
You know
That's
how
what
that
would be
is,
so
but-
funny. That's what would be so awesome.
Well, brother, she probably needs someone like you to
Yeah.
give her some truth in her life.
Yeah.
Instead of the people that are just the establishment.
Right.
But yeah, bro, just wanted to bring that up just to
All right.
go on a lighter note. And if no one has watched your old episodes of that, they should go back and check them out,
I
because y'all
agree.
have some a lot of funny banter going on.
All
All
right.
right, brother, have a great week, man. Good talking to you.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Later.
Peace and love. My wife sent this to me this morning. The people I admire the most are the ones who unabashedly tend to their inner peace. They do not want to hurt anyone. They move with kindness. They make time for self-care and growth. They do their best to give compassion to all those who cross their path. These people make the world lighter. That's two great subclips now. That at the end of the podcast, right? I love subclips. I'm so into subclips right now. I want to have like 10-minute content. So that first one was the future of CrossFit. That's breaking news. It's crazy. You guys heard it here first. So now we know what the games plan is moving forward. I'll work out the details. I'm not sure. I need to talk to my staff and find and work out the details of where we're going to have the event, exactly how we're going to get from the open to the games, but it will be through the affiliates with no exception. I will not waver on that. You should be rest assured of the affiliates. It will pass through you 100%. There'll be no wiggle room. If someone says you can't crown the fittest because it didn't pass through an affiliate, I'll be like, I understand. And I'm sorry for that, but it is the way it is. Oh, write the subclips down. You're right. Thank you. So that's one, the future, and then the history of the Sevon Matten, future of CF, and then the second one is oh, my hand's shaking. Damn, is that from Paper Street Coffee? And the other one is you think this Coke nail's wild? And the other one, what was the other subject? Future of CF and the history of the Sevon history. That was around 214, 230. Let's say history of Sevon, Josh, and Matt. All right, that's good. Ooh, I'm all jacked on coffee. Barry McCockiner says, "Cut that pinky nail, dude. That I caressed the back of your neck with that when I hugged you. That's what made you hard." Caller, hi. Caller, hi.
Have you been listening to Kamala talk lately?
No, no. I need to.
You gotta catch up. She is so dumb. It's god awful.
I do know that I loved it how CNN, New York Post, MSNBC all turned on her when she went full Venezuelan on us. When she's talked about fixing pricing for food. That is fucking insane, dude.
She's gonna take the patents away from people.
Oh, I saw that. We can do that. We'll snatch it from her. We can do that. I don't think she understands how capitalism works and why we make so much progress. Is the fact that we have to reward people for their shit.
Well, I think she does understand. That's why she wants to take it away.
Oh God, you're making me sick. I hope not. I can't really be
We can't
people
let
out there.
Yeah, we can't let that happen. I have a question for you. So you might have a little bit more insight to this.
Mhm.
Greg has always said the game's lost money.
Mhm.
Game's always lost money. He had to spend his own money. Why would any corporation or business continue to do something that will lose the company money? Is it because people like it? That's not really company-ish of someone to do. You have to make a decision.
I'm going to tell you something
Why?
crazy that doesn't get said a lot. It's not going to answer your question. You ready?
Hit me.
Up until Greg hired the new CEO, or maybe it was the year before he hired the new CEO, Greg would always tell Dave, the games better never make a dime. The games better never make a dime. That was his order. He did not want the games to make a fucking penny.
Yes.
He did not want to leverage the games to make money off the community. He would say that. I've heard him say it 1,000 fucking times. Games better. And then all of a sudden in 1 year, I think it was when the new CEO, all of a sudden, maybe it was like a month before the games, it was like, hey, the games have to break even. Imagine that stress that puts on Dave. Just all of a sudden, the complete like flip of that, like in a month before the games.
Well, that puts into a different perspective then.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
It's not-
million crazy fucking amazing nuances and details around how CrossFit was run that are like so important for someone to understand the picture. That's why like this plan that I have, as brilliant as it is, I'm so embarrassed that I didn't implement it 4 years ago when I became the CEO. But I too was blinded by the funness of it. And you know, there's like there's people out there who actually think the athletes matter as athletes. Of course they matter as people. But somehow they think that there's somehow some value add to the community that's way beyond what they really are. Like when people say to me, these athletes won't come on your show, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Or like, what? Where? Oxygen is important to the show.
I was going after a bunch of people on that last post that a different organization made, and we're going back and forth with people. They were saying how if the games are over, CrossFit's over. Like, what about the athletes? Somebody commented, my son is a 20-year-old aspiring CrossFit Games athlete. I'm like, so? He's putting all his chips into the CrossFit Games? What, are you crazy?
Do you know why there's 20 different kinds of cell phone brands? Because there's a fucking demand for it, and they're all successful rich companies. Do you know why there's no fucking competition to CrossFit? Because it's not a fucking successful possible business model. I'll tell you one more thing, Jethro. Do not repeat this, okay?
Okay, just between us.
And I love Dylan Malinsky. And the Miami Wadapalooza event, fucking people love it. But that's an organization that needs the athletes, I'm guessing. And if I'm wrong, I would love to be unfucked, right? CrossFit does not need a single athlete in the room, even a little bit.
Amen.
It is 100% the athletes that need CrossFit. Like, and what's crazy is like, so other leaders that are in the company have got it twisted because they think that these guys have big followings and they make a lot of noise, and so they're over there fucking pounding their chest, but they don't matter at all. They can't reach up and pick a banana out of a tree. All they can do is pound their chest. They offer no value. It's strictly entertainment. Now, it doesn't mean I don't love them to fucking death, and I'm honored to know them, and I don't love the games. I fucking, you know what I mean? Like these fucking Born Primitive sweats I own, they're fucking, I love them so much, but if I fucking lost them today, no consequence to my life at all. Zero.
Yep.
And that's what the games athletes are. So why not just funnel it all into what does matter? Only one thing matters. The affiliates. I'm going to funnel it all in there. The same way when I came home from the games, I grabbed my kids because they're the only thing that mattered to me, and my wife's titties. That's it.
I'm telling you, the way you explained it, going back to the affiliates, it makes 1,000% sense.
Oh, it's a fucking no-brainer. It's done. It's done. Consider it done, Jethro. You're consider it done. This is real.
Can I be on the cabinet?
Real? No. Fuck the affiliates. I don't want to hear shit from them. Sorry. You guys are fucking crazy. You guys get confused by the athletes. You guys get confused by all sorts of shit. You just stay there and save people's lives. I'll funnel shit to you. I'll make you proud. Trust me.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll make
I'll
you
be
proud.
waiting.
I'm gonna funnel it all in. All in. The affiliate, by the way, the video contest is still going, and we're actually getting submissions, and I'm really fucking excited. I'm really fucking excited. Yeah,
Dope.
it's done. Yeah. So if anyone wants to be part of the CrossFit Games, you can all the work, whatever the workouts are, they're going to have to be done in the affiliate. You're going to have to pay an affiliate fee. You're going to have to you have to go through the affiliate. There'll be something like this. Don't quote me on this at all, right? But it's going to be something like this. We'll probably do like maybe an open, and you'll have to have 2 judges there. And then if you make it past the open, maybe you'll go to quarterfinals, and then if you only have to have 2 judges if you want to go to to the next level. You'll have to have 2 judges validate it, right? And then at the quarterfinals, you'll have a video submission that's needed. But I might not even do the quarterfinals. I got to talk to my cabinet. I'm all about just let the top 100 from the open go to the games. I'm good with it. It's fine.
Make the open matter again.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, I need to cut the skews down. I need to make it just straight from affiliates to games as quickly as I can. It needs to be exclusive event. It needs to just add value to the affiliates. Is it adding value to the affiliates? No. Then I'm getting rid of it. Fuck you. You're
Exactly.
out. You're out.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm down.
You're done. Go fuck yourself. Not you, but you know what I mean? Like any
Yes.
ideas that I can't pass through that. How does that help CrossFit Chief Nation CrossFit, Chief CrossFit?
Right.
Did I cover all my bases? Did I get it right?
Yeah, I posted the other day. I was like, if the games got rid of today, we'd still have the affiliates. If the affiliates were gone, CrossFit would be gone. That's it. Pretty simple.
Yeah, simple. So simple. It's so simple. Well, no, let's even be more truthful. If the affiliates go, CrossFit's not gone. HQ is gone. And you have to remember, I'm also looking out for HQ because I got a fucking plush job, dude. Making $750,000 a year, fucking benefits, doing what I love, spreading the cure for the world's most vexing problem. I don't want to lose my job. So the affiliates aren't what keeps the affiliate. CrossFit will live with the affiliates or without the affiliates. But I need the affiliates. I need to help, and I want to add value to them so that I can keep my job. And I'm open with that, and I'm cool with that. That's cool. I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to make it so you're happy that I make $750 a year.
Yeah, we don't want you to lose your job.
Plus 2% ownership of the company.
Now we're talking.
So, hey, dude, you're in good hands. I got you.
It was great talking with you.
All right, and you have access to me anytime you want, buddy. You're one of the special affiliates. All affiliates aren't created equal.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you very much.
All right, I love you too. Kiss the ring.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Let me say hi to Pool Boy. Oh, Pool Boy, I got to mail you the exerciser. Got to. Cameron, got to mail you the exerciser. Got to mail Hiller one. I need to start selling exercisers, 20% off. Let me see. What do I got in here? All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. I got to take this off first. Okay, here we go.
We've got 18-year-olds with 60, 70-year-olds all in the same class doing the same workout. Obviously looks a little bit different, but the age range is one of the things I'm most proud of. There's no pigeonhole of people, or it's not like the gym where they're all youngsters or they're all older people. It's a blend of everybody, young, old, or everywhere in between. CrossFit's hard, so it attracts a certain type of people. I don't think you'd get that outside of a CrossFit gym's environment in terms of everyone trying to get better at stuff they don't like. People have to enjoy the class. You can be the best at teaching the snatch or the handstand push-up, or you can be the best at scaling people. Unless people are having fun, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to care, and that's what I try to get out of people. Teach them a little bit, give them a good workout, just make sure they're having fun and enjoying it at the same time.
Thank you to Two Brain Business for supporting those affiliate commercials. More than supporting them. That means they paid for them. Hey, do you want to be on the show?
For a little bit. I only have like 10 minutes.
Why? What are you doing? Oh. All right. This is the phase of the show where my son comes on. You like that? How I can turn the light on with my foot? I did that with my big toe. There's a switch down here under the table, and I just push it with my toe, and it turns that light on.
Oh, that's
Some
cool.
gangster shit, right?
Yeah.
God, dude, I got to pee so bad. What if I just left the show to you while I took a pee? What would you say? Imagine you were on the show by yourself. What would you say?
I want to skate on the skate ramp today again.
Oh, yeah, you got really inspired yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
How good? So you skated with your friend yesterday,
Yeah.
and he's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the best 10-year-old skater in Santa Cruz County?
No.
No, there's someone better than him?
There's someone better than him that's 9.
Who?
His name is like Nathan.
Have you seen him?
No. I don't know his name, but it's something. No, he said he's crazy good.
Really? He's like,
He can do like 6-foot airs out of the butterfly.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you want to see him?
Yeah.
Yeah. You slashed the coping yesterday. That was dope.
And front side?
Yeah. No. You did backside, but I mean the pool coping at the big pool at Mike Fox.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That was crazy. I was
slashed-
so scared for you because the pool coping sticks out so far. I was like, oh god, oh god.
I almost slashed the big one.
On the far side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit the tiles, but yeah. Rowan did that one's front side.
Really?
Yeah. He slashed that one front side.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I noticed that you like skate. Do you like skating with him because he's better than you? Like I noticed that you guys get. Yeah. Why is that?
Well, if he's
You don't get
better
jealous.
than me,
You don't get jealous of him. You're not like fuck, man.
I used to.
You did. You did used
Yeah.
to. What happened? How'd you flip the script?
Well, I just learned that if I skate somebody better than me,
Yeah.
I can get better than them.
Okay.
Like, I can learn
Interesting.
for them.
Explain. Okay.
Like I'm doing a trick that Rowan hasn't even thought of right now. So there's like a rail here,
Yeah.
and I'm coming from this way, and I'm board sliding it down with Luke.
Oh, and so you're saying that skating with Rowan it inspires you.
Yeah, and also if I skate with Rowan more, you know how Rowan just sends it?
Yeah.
If I skate with him more, I'm gonna be like just sending it all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, I saw you. It's like sometimes I never see you crash. The other day at Mike Fox, I saw you crash like 20 times, 50 times. You were sending it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's inspiring.
Yeah. And as I skate with him more, it would just get better and better.
You know why I think that you don't get jealous of him?
Because he's my friend?
But he's so cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when he does a trick, you're like, good job, Rowan. Or when you do a trick, he says, good job, Rowan. So it's like you guys support each other.
Yeah.
If you were with some guy who's like, there's some kids who will be like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Did you just tune out? I'm talking to you.
I am. I'm listening.
You are? I saw your eyes glaze over for a second.
No.
This is valuable airtime. Don't let your eyes glaze over. What's up with the gold chain?
I got it yesterday.
Where'd you get it?
Mom bought it for me.
Where were you that they were selling gold chains?
Mom bought it on Amazon.
What else has she bought you?
I think she bought me one more.
Who buys you more stuff on Amazon, me or your mom?
You.
Oh, all right. Well, then I can't judge her.
I have like, maybe $1,000 worth of Legos in my room.
Oh my god.
Maybe more.
Oh my god.
Maybe like 2,000.
Oh my god.
In the whole place, probably like.
We could use that money to put gas. We could use that money to put gas in the
There's
car.
probably $4,000 worth of Legos in here.
We're never gonna get a pool if we keep wasting money like
Or
that.
chickens.
Or chickens.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to the Legos? You're gonna reach an age where you don't want them. That what happens? Like eventually one day you're gonna get a girlfriend. You're gonna want to put a picture of her where one of the Legos is, like where a Chewbacca Lego is. What are you gonna do?
break up with her.
Oh shit. Sorry, I can't date you. This Lego, there's no room on this shelf for a picture of you, girl. Beat it.
Yeah.
Oh my
No, I
goodness.
don't know what happens.
Hey, yesterday at the skate park, did you know that some kid called Joseph a dick, or no, a bitch?
No.
Yeah, remember that kid on the scooter with the shirt dangling
Yeah.
off his neck? I guess, and you guys, how everyone goes up that big ramp, and then people can see you picking your nose. You know that big ramp where you skate up, and everyone waits in line to enter the park
Oh,
at
yeah.
Mike Fox. And you know how sometimes you got to go up at an angle and cross in front of people, like as everyone comes up there. I guess Joe's. Did you get a booger? Are you gonna flick it? Flick it. Don't flick it on the couch. Okay. Flick it on the floor. I guess Joseph went up there and that kid said move, and he started to say bitch. Ari heard him and then stopped.
Oh, he was coming like straight up the ramp.
I guess, and he got in the kid's way, and the kid was on on a scooter.
I told Ari to go. So here's a place that people go down.
Yeah.
And here's a place that you go up.
Yeah.
I'm telling Ari to go up this way so you don't get.
Right, but sometimes you kind of have to cross. But anyway, if Ari said, "Hey, I think that kid wants to get some," because he heard Joey say that. Ari's like, "Hey, I think that kid wants to get some."
What do you mean, like get his A kicked?
That's how I took it when Ari said it. He's like, "Hey, I think that kid wants to get some," and I told him, I said, "Hey, if it goes down, just don't stop." You know what I mean? Don't throw one punch or two punches. Just unleash holy hell on them.
Yeah.
Right?
You shouldn't have told me.
You
shouldn't have told me at that time.
Nah, you were busy. I didn't bother you. Oh, Extra Sloppy says, I pick my nose too. We're all good.
Yeah.
One of the listeners. All right. You think there's anyone on the planet who doesn't pick their nose?
Girls pick their nose. People say they don't, but
they do.
Yeah. It's like you can't resist. Can't resist picking your nose. It's like hard.
I don't eat.
It's like stop drinking coffee. It's like
I think quitting picking your nose would be harder. But when I was a kid, I used to eat them, and then I don't know what happened. I just reached a level where I stopped eating them.
Yeah, I eat them too.
You're still in the eating phase?
Yeah.
Oh.
When did you stop?
I don't know, 25. Seriously, I was too old.
What's up, Haley?
I should have quit eating them way before I did. Like way before. Now the thought of eating my boogers makes me kind of, I don't know. But listen. I heard that there's an evolutionary reason why we eat our boogers. Like there's some benefit to it.
What?
I don't know, that like somehow it reintroduces that bacteria into our gut so we can build our immune system around it or something. But I heard there's some.
Is it bad for you?
I don't know. I mean,
well, boogers is mucus, and you have mucus in your body, so it's like
it's just recycling.
Yeah.
Just sending it. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably pick the same boogers like a couple of times.
Oh, you think you pick a booger, you eat it, it goes down, gets brought back up to you. Oh shit. All right. That's good. That was a good little segment with you. Ready to go? Will you have striking now in 6 minutes?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in there and watch. All right.
One more question.
Okay.
Do you pick your nose with your pinky?
Yeah. You see me do it.
Yeah, I pick it with. Why? Is it because you're?
That's why I keep them long, dude. Sometimes on the show, I'll just catch. If I'm on the show, like I'm trying to be discreet, I do this. I kind of just try to roll them off the edge.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll just.
Sometimes.
I have to scrape. There'll be like something I have to scrape off the side or something, and I just have to do it.
Sometimes, when my nails are short and I need to pick my nose, I really get in there. I'm like, It's so annoying though.
I dread cutting my nails for that reason, because your picker's gone.
Yeah.
Every time I cut my nails when I was a kid.
Or you can use a toothpick.
Oh.
Have you seen one of the magicians like put a knife down their throat?
Yeah, yeah.
Like one time, David Blaine put a knife down his throat, and he said it won't go any further because it's on the bottom of his stomach.
I think they really do that.
They do.
They do.
Well, that's how David Blaine swallows frogs. Like he couldn't swallow a big. He needs to swallow like for practice, like maybe like a whole fig.
A whole what?
A whole fig.
Oh, like a whole thing. Hey, dude,
Yeah.
I had this chick on the show. She was like an eating world champion,
Yeah.
and she could put a whole banana in her mouth or like a really long hot dog and then pull it out. I guess it's like a sword.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's impressive.
But she
too.
could also eat like that. Like there's these people who can just shove hot dogs in, want like 10 hot dogs. God, that
Yeah.
must be so bad for you.
Yeah. Well, David Blaine, his stomach is crazy. Like, David Blaine's on the next level. He can swallow frogs and bring them back up.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you do that? It's like
if you can control your hands, right, you should be able to control everything. Like you should even be able to control your heart. Like I should be able to like, I can like have my hand here and think about it, and I can like feel. I can be like, okay, put my attention on my fingertip, and I can feel my fingertip.
Yeah.
And then like at night when I go to bed, I listen to my heart. I kind of like can feel like the valves and shit in there. But imagine like really going in there and being like, stop beating. Oh, that would be crazy, right?
Yeah, just like die for a second.
I guess. I don't want you doing that. Don't fuck with that.
I want.
All right.
One more question.
Yeah.
When you know how you like put the pillows on the side of your ears and you put the iPod on top?
Yeah.
I tried that last night. It worked so well. Like in 5 seconds, I was like,
yeah, 2 big pillows on the side of your ears, and then I prefer actually a pillow.
I was barely even listening to the book. I was like,
I'm out. Yeah. Oh shit, I turned you off. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I heard a popping sound. Oh shit, my computer wants to update its software. Jeez. Oh, this is disgusting. Do not answer this question.
What?
Ever pick your butt and eat your butt boogers?
Wait, what? Say that again?
Ever pick your butt and eat your butt boogers? Do not ever touch your butthole. I want you to be afraid of your butthole.
Who said that?
Someone in the questions. This is disgusting. You could get really sick.
That just sounds awful.
Good answer. All right. Love you guys. Avi, thank you for coming on, lightening up the show. Oh, I want to read something to you that your mom sent me. The people I admire the most are the ones who unabashedly tend to their inner peace. Do you tend to your inner peace?
Is mom listening?
I don't know. They do. Why would that change your answer?
No, that would just be like
cool.
Yeah.
Does mom teach you how to tend to your inner peace?
No, I heard you talking about Jackson, what a gentleman he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
They do not want to hurt anyone. They move with kindness. They make time for self-care and growth. They do their best to give compassion to all those who cross their path. These people make the world lighter. All right. Love you guys, especially you, Dan Guerrero. Bye-bye.